And everyone should be in now.
Great, thank you. Okay, good evening. I am calling this public hearing to order at 6 p.m. In accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGLC 131, Section 40, and the Boston Wetlands Ordinance, Boston City Code Ordinances 7-1.4, the Boston Conservation Commission will hold this virtual public hearing on January 14th, 2026 to review the following projects to determine what conditions, if any, the commission will impose in order to protect the interest of the public and private water supply, groundwater, prevention of pollution, flood control and prevention of storm damage, protection of fisheries and land containing shellfish, and protection of wildlife habitat. After this series of public hearings this evening, we will follow up with our regular meeting. And in accordance with Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2023, we are conducting this meeting online to ensure public access to the deliberations of the Conservation Commission. The public may access this call through telephone and video conferencing. Additionally, the meeting is being recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded, please turn off your video. Members of the public may have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand or type in the chat in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you're calling in and cannot use the platform, you can raise your hand by pressing *9 and *6 to unmute yourself, or send your questions to staff via email at cc@boston.gov. As a note this evening, we have quite a few individual hearings on tap, so I'll be asking all the project proponents to limit their presentations to 5 minutes so that we can do a full review of your projects in a timely manner. For the record, I am Michael Parker, Chair of the Commission. Could staff please identify themselves?
Elena Itamari with the Environment Department.
Dee Dee Hernandez with the Environment Department.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll call the roll of commissioners present. Commissioner Sullivan,
John Sullivan,
Commissioner Linay,
Amy Linay.
Commissioner Wilson,
Mike Wilson.
Commissioner Conan.
Conan Thiruvengadam.
Thank you. Commissioner Estes Smargiassi,
Steve Estes Smargiassi.
Commissioner Herbst.
Ann Herbst.
Great, thank you. Okay, first item on the agenda this evening is notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2087 and Boston file number 2025-043 from Lucas Environmental LLC on behalf of Melissa Rosales for the proposed construction of a multifamily residential building with 3 units, parking, stormwater improvements, and landscaping at 8 Knight Street in Hyde Park. Resource areas, 100-foot buffer to BVW, 100-foot buffer to Inland Bank. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Good evening, Commission. My name is Tom Liddy, professional wetland scientist from Lucas Environmental. I am here representing the owner and applicant of the property, Melissa Rosales. She's present with us in the virtual waiting room, as well as Peter Gammy, who's the project engineer from Columbia Design Group, LLC.
Great. The floor is yours.
Okay. May I share my screen?
No, the slides get sent in beforehand. There's no.
Oh, I see. It's right on the screen.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay, so this is the cover slide. Again, so this project located at 8 Knight Street involves the subdivision of the existing parcel in order to construct a 3-unit multifamily building. If you could advance to slide 2, please. So this is an aerial image of the property. Knight Street is located immediately to the west, Reedville Street to the south. The property contains existing multifamily residential building, parking area in the rear here, an existing driveway with frontage on Knight Street. And the portion of the property being subdivided is located in the northern section. This is the 2023 aerial, so you can see it's an existing garage, and as well as paved and gravel areas surrounding that. We conducted a site visit on December 4th, and when we were out there, I realized there's been some work that was conducted out there. The garage was removed, and some of the gravel and other impervious areas were removed. So we resubmitted this application as an after-the-fact NOI to authorize that previous work, as well as to get approval and request an order of conditions for the proposed project. To the north of the property, it's a wetland system associated with Mother's Brook, a perennial waterway with associated 25-foot riverfront area and waterfront area. There's a 100-foot buffer zone offset from the edge of BVW associated with the river, as well as the bank of the river as well. If you could advance to slides 3, please. So this is a photo of the existing conditions as of last month. You can see there's been some earthwork that occurred. This area was all developed previously, so there's no removal of any vegetation, trees or shrubs or anything like that. This is the eastern part of the property. Knight Street would be to the right of the screen. If you could advance to slide 4. And so this is the rear of the property. You can see, again, there's been some earthwork, but this is very similar to what it was prior to the work that occurred last year. You can see a stockade fence in the rear. Behind that is parkland owned by DCR, and then Mother's Brook is off to the north. Slide 5, please. So this is the existing conditions plan that was included in the application. You can see the existing dwelling located at the left side of the property. The area that we subdivided is located obviously to the right of that. You can see the color coding. The area to the right is all that gravel and broken up area. And then part of the driveway is located right, it's a little sliver in the middle there. So slide 6, please. Okay, so this is the proposed project. It basically it's a 3-story, approximately 1,600 square foot, 3-story, 3-unit residential building. You can see the 100-foot buffer zone, which extends to the east of the site. All the building and parking area in the rear has been located outside the 100-foot buffer zone. Any runoff from the parking area will be conveyed into a 2-foot deep sump catch basin, and then will be infiltrated with an infiltration system right next to it. All the rooftop runoff will be directed into another infiltration system and 2-foot sump catch basin in the front of the property. And that existing the existing driveway will be removed, and that area will be graded and loamed, and grassed and graded into the property. And also, the existing stockade fence is in disrepair, so that will be removed and replaced in kind. The next slide, please. This is the landscaping plan that's proposed. So in the northern part of the site, you can see the 100-foot buffer zone. Onto the northern edge of the property, you can see the building and parking area has been located outside of the buffer zone. There's 2 river birch trees, and several inkberry shrubs that are proposed. So compared to existing conditions, there's over 3,500 square foot of new green space and landscaping proposed. I know you have a busy night, so that's the overview of the project. This plan has been approved by the Boston Water and Sewer Commission, so this is our last approval to advance into the construction phase. So with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tom. Okay, not thrilled about the prior work, but I see that you're taking steps to correct that, and thank you for coming in with the after the fact NOI. As far as the excuse me, is the fence, and Ellen, I'll go to you. Is this the type of fence where we need some passage for habitat, Elena?
I think that it's a good idea. It's relatively close to the water, so that might make sense here.
Okay. Tom, do you know what I'm talking about? A little clearance.
Do you
on the
want
bottom.
like a 6-inch gap in the lower
Yeah, it's either
portion?
6 or 8 inches, something like that. Elena has the details.
I think 8 inches would be preferable if possible.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sorry, 8 inches would be preferable.
8 inches. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Elena, anything else from you?
We didn't have anything else. No, we appreciate that the project team worked with us to revise the NOI to include the unauthorized work that was done before. And just to clarify for the rest of the commission, our thought process was that if we were to issue an enforcement order, we would likely just ask for an after the fact NOI. So that's why we recommended that the proponent loop this into the existing NOI that they had filed.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, you show the parking lot back there. How does the vehicle get from the public street to that parking lot? Do they to get on from their property or do they go from a neighbor's property?
They'll get on through 8 Night Street. It'll be a shared driveway. If you go to um, slide 6, there's the parking area for 8 Night Street is located. There's that paver patio that's all part of that parking area. So there's going to be an agreement between the two properties to access the parking area through 8 Night Street.
Right, and the drainage, the infiltration you've got, which has been approved, is for that particular drain area. No water runs from the adjacent property onto the property. Has it been sized just to take the area of that particular property, or can runoff from the paver patio area, excess runoff get into that property, just grade wise?
I'll defer to Peter Gammy, the PE, to answer that. Peter, can you
Yeah,
answer that?
absolutely. Hi, I'm Peter Gammy, civil engineer. So it's a good question, but I think in reality there will be some small amount of water that could run across and onto that paved area. That would be picked up by the catch basin. But we haven't done final design for that driveway coming in. But clearly we could quite easily add a trench drain that would capture any of that water running across the shared driveway, and put a system on the 8 Night Street site. So it's a good point, and it's something we could certainly address.
Yeah, oh, it might be easier, Peter, is if you simply enlarge the infiltration system on this property, so any water that came, there'd be plenty of capacity for it. So it
Yeah.
it could run naturally. It might not always get there, but just because you haven't built it yet. So by adding another row of infiltration chambers, you would pick up any potential water coming off of number 6 or whatever number that is.
Yeah,
Number 8.
you're absolutely right. We could absolutely do that. It would not be a heavy lift or anything. So adding another couple chambers would probably remediate
Right,
any
right.
water that runs across. So yeah,
So that'd be a great commitment that you could tell us and we could add it into any order of conditions. You could do it after the fact and send the calcs both to Boston Water Sewer to update their plans and to the Concom.
yeah, absolutely. I think, well,
Okay.
uh, I'll leave it up to Tom, but I would assume that the owner would be willing to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure we would. So that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Linay?
I had a couple questions on the landscape plan, so we could go back to that slide. So one question is about those existing trees shown outside of the property boundary. I believe you said you're replacing the existing stockade fence with this vinyl fence. And is there any, I guess, intention to protect these trees just off the property line and potentially use the same footing locations, to sort of minimize the disruption to the root zones of those trees? So that's one question I had. And then I wondered the layout of the parking spaces is the reason that the two on the right are further, planned up, I guess you'd say, just because of the 100-foot buffer line. It just felt a little bit unnecessary to me, and maybe that's more of a design comment, but it seemed like unnecessary extra pavement, I guess, essentially, that could be part of the lawn. And then I wanted to hear a little bit more about the lawn area. I think it's sod you mentioned, and I wondered if there was any information on the species for that, and if it's something that could be like a fescue or a deeper rooting seed mix, just to provide better infiltration in that area. So that's a lot of questions, but I think first is the existing trees outside of the property, anything to protect those as this new fence goes in.
Right. So the proposed fence would just replace what's there. So if they could reuse the post holes that are from what for the fence post that's there now, they would just do that. It's much easier for them as well. So I don't think there'd be any real issues with altering, root zones and whatnot, because everything can kind of be put in where it is existing. And it's not going to be expanded any further out closer to the trees at all. So I wouldn't anticipate any impacts to any root zones or any of the trees there. The sod, it's a bluegrass sod, which is a pretty standard, seed mix. So they wanted to something that would stabilize quickly, stabilize the site quickly. So,
Is it irrigated or
sorry,
is it irrigated?
Peter, I don't know if you know if the lawn's gonna be irrigated. I didn't see that on the plan, but
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if they're planning irrigation or not. I've not heard that so far.
Okay,
I
because
I might
yeah,
I might be
sorry, go
able
ahead.
to address that last question, Amy, that you had. Just I think the staggering it just and the parking spaces. It's a shared driveway. We're looking to try to allow the cars to kind of maneuver and turn around so that, obviously coming in, it's not an issue. But with that little bit of a jog there, it does afford a little more room for sort of backing out, being able to make a 1-2 turn to turn around and get back out. So that's I think part of the thought process that went into that particular layout. It's it's just more of a functional aspect of the circulation of the vehicles.
Gotcha. And maybe one more comment. So on the planting, just wondering if there could be a little more diversity. It's, I think, a lot of inkberry, which, is great and fine, but, there's certainly, a fair amount of plants going in. So just maybe considering diversifying the species a bit. And that's all. Thank you.
Great, thank you. How are we going to diversify the species? Do we have a commitment to do that? Peter?
we can have. I know Melissa's here if she wants to jump in, but I think we could have the landscape architect. I don't want to speak for Melissa, but
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah, that's definitely fine. I can let the architect know so that we can get that revised and bring a little bit more diversity into the species.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Commissioner Linay kind of asked my question. Yeah, in terms of this, in addition to the species, I guess, yeah, there's a couple of the shrubs that you specified sort of as feature plants versus what would probably wind up being more hedges. I think for parking area, hedges is probably like a good way to go or something like that. But, sort of whatever the mix is and, in terms of just if there's stuff that is able to provide forage and, inkberry can do that, but other things like that in the riverine habitat. I don't know how helpful, like, say, DCR's planning list or something like that might be in this location, but that might be a place to start for sort of riverine edge community type species. So, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think we could commit to a condition in the order that requires a revised landscape plan be submitted and approved prior to implementation.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having one in the first place. That's always good.
Oh.
So, appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Good suggestion. Thank you. Commissioner Conan?
Thank you, Chair Parker. Yeah, appreciate that. And also the diversification idea is great. Couple of things. I'm actually just not sure about the address because in the NOI it's 8 and this property, if you look at the side map, it's 6 and 8 Knight Street. Is that correct?
So let me just double check that. I believe it was 8, and it's 8 Knight Street, and then when it gets subdivided, the subdivided lot will be 10 Knight Street.
Okay, so the way, if you look at the picture on your slide, it includes 6. So that's why I got confused. You may want to take a look at that. I'm looking on Google Maps about what's what, and it's not clear to me.
Yeah, I think Commissioner Khan, I think what they do with these, they pull ISD addresses, which don't always jibe with either Google Maps or even the city directory. So sometimes you'll see those discrepancies in addresses. So
But okay, that's helpful, Chair Parker. But we are saying that the project is confined to 8. Is that correct?
So the original lot is 8 Knight Street, and then they're subdividing that, and the new subdivided lot will be 10 Knight Street.
Yeah, I heard that. It's just like, if you, yeah, you may want to check that. I'm just not sure on where 6 is, and but in terms of orienting myself here, immediately north of the lot is where the water is, correct?
Yes, so this view, the orientation has been rotated.
Yeah.
So north is on the right side of the screen,
Right.
and to the right or to the north it's DCR parkland, and then it gets into Mother's Brook. So
Right.
yes, the wetlands and the river is off to the north or
Great,
to the
thank
right
you.
on this view.
Yeah, right in this view, but north in terms of directions. So I'm seeing that there's a huge property to the east that appears to be completely impermeable. I'm wondering if there's been any flooding that you've noticed on this lot at all, that either from the body of water immediately to the north or from overflow from this huge lot to the east.
So the site's out of it's not in the 100-year floodplain.
Yeah.
Melissa, I don't know if you've had any experience with flooding there. I'm not aware of any, but
I've owned 8 Knight Street since 2018. There has been no flooding.
I see. That's good to know. Well, one of the things to remember with the climate change is things that haven't happened in the past are unfortunately going to happen in the future. So we kind of have to constantly be aware of what we're on the brink on. Otherwise, I have no questions. Thanks, Sir Parker.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Estes Margiazzi?
Nothing further at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Herbst?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Elena, did you see any hands from members of the public?
I am not seeing any hands, and we haven't gotten any emails either.
Anything in the chat? Okay. Okay. So with that, I would entertain a motion to issue the order conditions with the following special conditions, that the fence have an 8-inch space at the bottom to allow habitat to travel, a row of infiltration chambers in the area that Commissioner Sullivan had mentioned, and that those plans be sent, or the new calcs be sent to Boston Water and Sewer Commission, and then the plan submitted to staff, and also a new landscaping plan that shows diversity of the plantings be submitted to staff before work commences.
I'd like to make that first motion of the year.
First motion of the year. Thank you,
Commissioner
Commissioner
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
I apologize for interrupting your first motion
Yes.
of the year. But also I just want to make sure we close the hearing.
Yeah, and close the hearing. Commissioner Sullivan jumped on me there. He was so anxious to do that.
I saw these anxious.
And close the hearing.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. I just saw everybody else trying to beat me out for my one.
All on board. Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Commissioner Sullivan.
Aye.
Commissioner Linay.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Appreciate tradition. Aye.
Commissioner Conan.
Aye.
Commissioner Estes Margiazzi.
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst.
Aye.
And I vote aye. It carries, wow, 7-0. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2091 from Foth Infrastructure and Environment LLC on behalf of the Massachusetts Port Authority for the proposed dredging of sediment at berths 10, 11, and 12 to restore navigation and berthing capabilities for large container vessels at Conley Container Terminal, 800 to 900 East First Street in South Boston. Land under ocean and designated port area are the resource areas. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Yes, thanks, Chair Parker. Chris Bush, Senior Environmental Planner with Massport, here this evening with Chet Myers, our Deputy Director for Maritime, as well as our consultant team at Foth, comprised of Matt Perry and Jimmy Hill. And with that, I will hand it off to Foth to provide an overview of the project.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you can go right to the next slide. For the record, my name is Jimmy Hill with Foth Infrastructure and Environment. On behalf of the Massachusetts Port Authority, I'm presenting the Conley Terminal Maintenance Dredging Project. So this project is located in the southern end of the seaport in the reserve channel. The berths to be dredged, berths 10, 11, 12, are located across from the cruise terminal. And you can go to the next slide. So this is an aerial facing southwest of the terminal. You can see there is some previous work being done there. Next slide, please. So the proposed project is to mechanically dredge 10,324 approximately cubic yards of sediments from berths 10, 11, and 12. Berths 10 and 11 will be dredged to their previously authorized footprints and depths of minus 50 feet mean lower low water. And berth 12 to minus 45. Both will include a 2-foot allowable over depth for construction and 3-to-1 side slopes. So the disposal location for the spoils will be in the Boston Harbor CAD cell, and we'll use dump scows for that. So mechanically loaded into dump scows. Next slide, please. This is just another overview showing specifically berths 10, 11, and 12. There's currently a ship in 10 in that image. And then the disposal location, the Boston Harbor CAD cell, is about a 3-mile tow to the north. And we'll go next slide. And here's just some of the previous permits that we were able to find for this. So you can see the darkened area is the shoal along the terminal. There's some cross sections. If you go to the next slide, and if you want to just kind of slowly click through, we have 10. Next slide is berth 11. Next slide is berth 12, and kind of similar shoaling up along the edge of the bulkhead there. And we can go to the next slide, which shows the Boston Harbor CAD cell. So this is in the Charleston reach of the Federal Navigation Channel. And you can see the notes there. The exact disposal location within the cell, will be coordinated between Massport and the Army Corps of Engineers during the time of construction. Next slide. So the resource areas and proposed impact are to DPA and land under ocean of 119,132 approximately square feet and 10,324 cubic yards of sediments. Next slide, please. For turbidity control, we propose no scow overflow. That's when you're loading the scow, making sure that no sediments or water skims off the top and back into the water. No scow washdown means that it'll be a clean operation with an environmental bucket when possible. That way that the sediments do not drip onto the side of the scow, and no washdown. In the washdown of that would increase turbidity. So we propose no scow washdown. Turbidity curtains would work if required. But we have not seen any DMF recommendations yet. I know that conservation reached out, but I'm not sure if they had heard back. So we are not sure what time of year restrictions we'll have to adhere to as well. Next slide, please. I guess that'll wrap it up. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, yeah, I didn't see a DMF letter in there as well. Elena, any late breaking news on that?
Unfortunately not. No, that was going to be my only comment.
Okay. Okay. So Jimmy, you said, and I think we have Chris here, that you would comply with DMF TOY conditions should that letter come in. Let's say we close the hearing and issued a order of conditions with a special condition that you comply with the DMF letter. DMF also, usually, besides time of year, they will suggest other appropriate measures. Would you, if we close the hearing and issued a order of conditions, would you comply with everything that's in the DMF letter before construction?
So just sorry to jump in here.
Chet's here.
I'm
Okay.
not sure how there was a little bit of a lapse in the preparation of the presentation. As you know, the depth at Conley Terminal is like 50 feet. I don't think it's possible for us to implement silk curtains
Silk curtain.
in water depth that deep. So I apologize for my consulting team for having stated that, but there's no way logistically we can actually implement that.
Okay, we've run into that issue before. Okay,
Yeah.
so throwing
So,
that
but
out
other
there.
than that, I mean, I could say that yes, we routinely are, review the conditions from DMF, and we should be fine with the majority of them. I mean, we rarely dispute them. The silk curtains is only really usually the big one.
Yeah, I don't recall. I mean, we've had a fair amount of work between Conley and the cruise port over the past, 18 months, year, and I don't recall the requirement for silk curtains coming through DMF. So that would be a first if they did require that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Elena, anything else?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, a quick question either to staff or to Massport. How full are these CAD cells up by the Mystic River? Are they half full, or does anybody know?
They're probably like 70 to 80% full. Massport pre-purchased a good amount of material when the CAD cell was constructed, and we still have, I think, at least half of what we purchased still available. The Army Corps, on the other hand, does not have a lot of available capacity left because they just built enough to be able to cover the material that they put in there during the last maintenance dredging program.
Right. So this amount that you want to put in won't exceed what's available in the CAD cell. We're not going to have you come back and say, well, now we got a bunch of scows and we don't know where to put it. You've got
Definitely not.
capacity. Okay. That was my only comment.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Linay?
I don't have any questions. Thanks.
Commissioner Wilson?
None here either. Thanks.
Great. Commissioner Conan?
Any impact on the life there? I don't know how much there is in terms of marine life there, given the disturbance, but any comments?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, could you repeat your question?
What is the marine life there and this level of disturbance to the sediment? What is the impact of any life?
We don't believe it would be very significant. Particularly berth 10 and 11 were just recently dredged. I think the completion of that happened in 2020, and the Army Corps of Engineers just did improvement dredging in this area that was complete around 2022. So we don't believe that there would be a lot of marine life in this location that would have established itself in that time period.
I see. So it's kind of lifeless, is it?
No, I wouldn't say it's lifeless. We just wouldn't expect that there would be an enormous amount of living things in that area. And certainly there's fish and other types of we don't believe that there would be a lot of bottom dwelling organisms. Let's put it that way.
All right, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Estes Margiassi?
No questions from me. Glad to see that after the Corps dredged the channel that we'll have space for the ships here.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Herbst?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, so Elena, any hands raised?
No hands raised, and we didn't receive any emails or chats either.
Nothing in the chat. Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions with a special condition that prior to construction, the DMF letter needs to be issued and that Massport will comply with all requirements of the DMF letter, knowing that you may challenge, especially a silt curtain. If you do so, no construction until your challenge with DMF is resolved and we get their letter and you comply with their final letter, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And close the hearing.
I'd like to make the second motion of the year.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan.
Aye.
Commissioner Linay.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Got the first use of the word scow in there for the year too, John. Aye.
Commissioner Conan.
Aye.
Commissioner Estes-Margiazzi.
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst.
Aye.
And I vote aye, so that carries 7-0. Okay, thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2096 in Boston, file number 2026-005 from HDR Engineering on behalf of the City of Boston Planning Department for the proposed realignment of the curb line along Kennedy Avenue, South Boston waterfront. The resource area is land subject to coastal storm flowage, 100-foot buffer to coastal bank, and 25-foot waterfront area and designated port area. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Paul Terrell with HDR, and I'm here representing the Boston Planning Agency this evening.
Great.
With that, I'm a registered professional engineer and a professional land surveyor, and I've been working in Boston for my entire career. Happy to be here this evening, and thank you for taking our filing. The Boston Planning Department has been working on a multi-phase project to improve access in and out of the EDIC facility. This is phase 2. Phase 1 was the Northern Ave improvements that were done a few years ago. In phase 2, if I go to the next slide, please. This is the subject project area. You may recognize the Pavilion Theater right there and the end of Northern Ave where the roundabout exists today. And then there's the Hook Lobster facility right there. And what you see in the going to the northeast and then along the waterfront is Fid Kennedy Way. Also central to the location is an existing Boston Planning parking facility. The project's goals were to see what we can do about reducing the amount of impervious surface within the limit, realign Fid Kennedy to allow for the planned future increase in traffic, provide access to Yankee Lobster, give them a little bit more facilities to park, all the while making sure that access to Leader Park and the dry dock area remains. And then there's also a significant safety concern relative to the fact that Fid Kennedy doesn't currently have a sidewalk on the western portion of the roadway. Of good value to note here is that also limits the public's access to the waterfront. Folks traversing down the southeast end of Northern Ave, they get in front of the lobster facility and they find nowhere to go other than to go southeast into Northern Ave. They can't walk directly and safely to the waterfront. So this project has a net benefit of really increasing access to the waterfront. Next slide, please. A couple of photographs. This is looking at the looking to the northeast, looking into the area of the alignment. As you can see, there's a sidewalk to the right. There's a string of utility poles, and then you can see to the left. That's where that sidewalk I mentioned ends at the lobster facility. You can see it's a very unsafe conditions. Pedestrians can only come towards the crosswalk. They can't walk safely to the waterfront. Next slide, please. This photograph is about 250 feet to the northeast again, and it shows that truck turning movement issue. One of the problems is the rather large trailers that come in and around in this area. That's a small box truck that you see that's somewhat easily traversing the corner. However, the WB67s and such have a much more difficult time turning that tight corner. Next slide, please. This is the extension of Fid Kennedy along the waterfront to the left. You can see the railing barrier, and you can see that's the terminal on my left. Over to the left is the end of the public sidewalk where the people get to, but they don't have any way to get there. This is also the connection point in which the roadway will curve into and connect to the existing Fid Kennedy. Next slide, please. And this is turned around looking back towards the Pavilion facility, and this is the alignment where the roadway, the realigned roadway, will actually go through the city's parking facility. The city's losing a number of parking spaces and revenue associated with that to provide improved access and improved traffic in and out of the facility. Next slide, please. So this is a plan view. You can see that I noted the locations of the 4 photographs as orientating you again. North is up the page. We've got the roundabout at the end of Fid Kennedy and Northern Ave at that location. You can see I've annotated Fid Kennedy Ave as it comes down, and there's that tight turn, and it comes down to the connection along the waterfront. Next slide, please. These are the proposed improvements. As you can see, there's a substantive shift of the alignment into the existing parking lot. It's created an opportunity for green space that's going to allow for an opportunity for snow storage. As you can see in the cross section, there's a sidewalk on both sides of the facility. And as I noted, there's a substantive reduction in parking as a commitment to the improvements of both vehicular and pedestrian safety. To the top, you can see the improved parking for the Yankee Lobster facility. I keep calling it Hook. I apologize. And then you can see the roundabout facilities that we've accommodated for deliveries to the Leader Bank Pavilion. Next slide, please. Though this is not an environmental consideration, we just wanted to demonstrate that one of the reasons which drives the alignment of this roadway and what's driving the impacts to the parking is the fact that we need to get the WB 67s through here. They're a significant, and we want to get them off Northern Ave and keep Northern Ave as part of a public thoroughfare, but we did want to make sure that the public had a more direct connection to the waterfront. Next slide, please. This is just a quick overview. It's very difficult to read the whole thing, but as I put a few annotations, there are a number of existing outfalls in the facility. We are not proposing anything substantively different that was there today. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned, there's a reduction in peak rate runoff because of the increased amount of impervious surfaces. We are using existing facilities and drainage outlets as well as a water quality structure that exists out there today. So there's no new outfall connections, and we're connecting to existing systems. I will say that this has been reviewed by Boston Transportation. It's been reviewed by Boston Water and Sewer. And we have utility coordination ongoing for the poles that need to be relocated, as I mentioned. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, one of our intentions was to minimize the environmental impacts of the proposed realignment, reduce the amount of impervious surfaces, which will increase water quality. It also meets the obligations of the designated port authority that it is. It participates in the growing and the ongoing master plan for the improvements of Marine Industrial Park. It minimizes impacts to the tenants. We've coordinated with all the tenants throughout the facility. It does provide the utility upgrades. As I mentioned, the utility poles you see right there on the photograph on the right all need to be relocated. And the design, as I mentioned, has been coordinated with various city agencies positively. With that completes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great. Thank you, Paul. I was looking up the turning radius of a WB 67. They're bears.
Yes, sir, they are.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So as you can see, the impacts to the city system, to the revenue associated with the parking lot is rather substantial. And I have to apologize. I wanted to recognize Gigi from Boston Planning, who's sitting in the background waiting to correct me if I make any mistakes.
Great. Okay, thank you. Elena, do you have anything on this?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, my only comment is I know BPDA was doing a coastal resilience study for the whole area there. This has all been coordinated with those people doing the study?
Yes, I'm sure Gigi will confirm that, but we are working directly for the capital construction program that I believe is the one responsible for that study, Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah, well, that's good. And it's good to know that somebody is watching you, Paul. That's good to know.
Thank you. I'm hoping to get your first motion of the year, if that's possible.
It's a good chance because everyone else has been put on notice. That's all I had.
Okay, Commissioner Linay.
I was curious about the lawn areas and who will be maintaining those, and is Fid Kennedy considered, is that public right of way or a private way?
So it is solely owned by Boston Planning, and there is a long-term plan for Boston to possibly someday convert these roadways back to public, not convert them back, to turn them over for public future ownership. However, when it's constructed, it will be still owned by Boston Planning. And the grass area, one of the things that your staff had commented on, that I may be able to get some more positive direction on the preferred grass seed that's required, because we just use the standard Mass DOT grass, and Elena was kind enough to say that someone may not like that, and I may want to suggest something else. I just thought it'd save everybody's time if I got a recommendation from you folks.
And so planning is responsible for maintaining
Yes,
that area?
Yes.
the entire project footprint is within the Marine Park, which is EDIC property, and the maintenance will be EDIC operations responsibility.
Okay, and because I always have to ask, is there any consideration for trees in that area just to create greater opportunity for infiltration and evapotranspiration?
So with that, one of the concerns is some of the underground utilities that are in the area of that location. And unfortunately, the reality is it does also impact maintenance issues. So one of the things that they want to be able to do is be able to use it for snow storage. And as you can see, I think that if we started to put trees there, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be damaging the trees as a snow storage benefit.
I see. So, I mean, snow storage can also be somewhat damaging to lawn if there's a substantial amount of salt in it, but we'll see how that goes. All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. I will note also, Paul already touched up on this, but it's an improvement in lawn areas in that section of the park, which is currently just random pavement without lines. And now it's more, I don't want to say manicure, it will be kept, it will be grass, but it's pervious grass lawn areas where what used to be just random paving.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Wilson? Commissioner Wilson?
To the storm, in terms of this being, which is not probably a substantial change, but is there a need for a revised snow management plan, or is this part of sort of, given that the property, some of the city surge options if we wind up having a 2015 winter, that sort of thing?
I don't know if the commissioners all could hear.
Yeah,
if I understood
snow
correctly.
management plan in case we get surge.
So I think that is an EDIC activity in its entirety. The EDIC manages the snow throughout the entire property. They move snow around the property. They move it onto surplus parcels that they have today. So I think that that's a larger question, and one that I think that is best served left with EDIC, if I'm not mistaken.
Gigi, any comment?
Well, we have a snow management plan for the park, and this is not a new road, but there's already a Fit Kennedy there already, and the plowing of snow and storage will be done as how we do it currently in the park.
Okay, so to the extent that you have a snow management plan or have one in the future, I think we'd like to see it in the plans, in the
Okay.
file, I mean. Okay.
Yes, we can provide a snow management plan.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Conan?
Will there be access to the lawn, public access to the lawn?
There won't be any prohibited use to the lawn. It's along a sidewalk. It's not being fenced in. So I would say that yes.
Well, it wouldn't be recreational uses of this lawn. It's like it's for there to look nice. I don't know if anybody would be attracted to go use it recreationally. Yeah, it's like
You have to admit it is an island unto itself, because
Yes.
it has that circular access road around it.
yes.
Right, so it wouldn't be accessible.
No, it would be. There's a sidewalk that runs along it, and somebody could come down Northern Ave onto Fit Kennedy and walk right up to the grass area.
Okay. Yeah, I see the WB 67 access around it, but I realize, it would be a very industrial feel if you were there. What was the curvature of the new road also dictated by what the WB 67s need?
Yes, ultimately the turning movements of W67 drive the design of this realignment.
Okay, right. Thank you. That's all,
Yep.
Chair Parker.
Commissioner Estes Margiazzi.
Nothing further.
Thank you. Commissioner Herbst.
Nothing from me. Thanks.
Okay. Elena, any hands raised?
No hands raised, nothing in the inbox, and I did just want to confirm for the commission that the draft conditions already have a requirement for a snow management plan, so that'll already be covered.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. So with that, I would entertain a motion to issue order of conditions and close the hearing.
I'd like to make the third motion of the year.
Thank you.
I'll
Commissioner
second.
Smargiassi, please.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We're on a pattern here. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Estes Smargiassi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst.
Aye.
Go back to Commissioner Wilson. Okay, he's indisposed now. So I voted aye. So that carries 6-0. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Thank
Thank you for
you,
your time.
Commissioners. Thank you, Elena. Bye.
Okay, next item on the agenda, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2089 and Boston file number 2025-045 from AECom on behalf of the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation for the proposed repairs, maintenance, and improvements of existing features throughout Castle Island and William J. Day Boulevard, South Boston. Resource areas, land subject to coastal storm flowage, 25-foot waterfront area, 100-foot buffer to coastal bank, 100-foot buffer to coastal beach, and 100-foot buffer to rocky intertidal shores. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Good evening, Commissioner Parker. This is Tom Keogh from AECom. And as usual, I am joined by Tom Volton of DCR this evening. And I believe Joe McCran of DCR is also listening in.
Fantastic. Floor is all yours.
All right. So as the introduction stated, DCR is proposing a large maintenance, repair, and infrastructure improvement in the Castle Island and South Boston vicinity, coming all the way from G Street up to Castle Island itself. And while there is an awful lot going on here, there's not an awful lot of things that are new. It's a lot of in-kind replacement and maintenance, not a lot of new constructions. There are no new buildings. There are no, areas that we're going to suddenly run a new sidewalk on or anything like that. So it's a lot of maintenance activities occurring within the area. And as I said, replacement in kind. Next slide, please. All right, so the project begins, as I said, at G Street, travels out to Castle Island, and throughout this entire process, we have sidewalk replacement, a water line replacement, roadway resurfacing, guardrail repair around the Castle Island parking lot, fencing repair and replacement at Kelly's Landing and all around Castle Island, a little bit of slope stabilization in one spot on Castle Island, and then a pothole and sinkhole repair out on the Head Island Causeway. Next slide, please. All right, so I broke the presentation up into just segments pretty much based on the type of work. So from G Street to the Pleasure Bay flagpole down by the Kelly's Landing, we're replacing all of the sidewalks on the water side of the street. The construction methodology is going to be identical to that which the commission has already seen and approved for the sidewalks further south on William J. Day Boulevard and further up to the north for the Murphy Rink. We're also going to be replacing some sidewalks on the northern side of William J. Day Boulevard for the Lago Playground and Marine Park that comes around there. Repairing the railing at Kelly's Landing. That is not a chain link fence or anything along those lines. I have some photos later I'll show you. But that railing is just going to be unbolted, brought out, sandblasted, painted, and then brought back. So the work will be occurring off-site. Temporary fencing will be installed in that area, obviously, to prevent people from falling into the ocean. Then down in that area by the flagpole, they're going to replace a water line in the parking and area that's around there, and install a couple of water fountains in the washing stations within the paved areas of that landing there. And if the next slide, please, we have some pictures of what that area will look like with the work as proposed. So this is where most of the work is happening here. As I had said, from G Street all the way up, it's the sidewalk replacement. The commission's very familiar with that. But this is that area right at the Pleasure Bay flagpole. You can see the dash lines coming in. It's all within the already paved surfaces that the water line will be run under. These areas will be resurfaced. Tree protection will be going up, so there's no loss of trees or anything along those lines in this area. Next slide, please. And just some pictures of, if you've seen one sidewalk, you've seen them all. But here's the sidewalk that will be replaced. And as usual, the ADA ramps will be replaced there as well. Next slide, please. All right. This is the Lago Park. You can see it's on the other side of the street from the sidewalk that we'll be doing on William J. Day Boulevard. The photo on the right, you can see there's a couple of areas there where that sidewalk is really beat up and in need of repair. Next slide, please. And here is the railing right at the flagpole and the landing that I had mentioned will just be unbolted, brought off site, sandblasted, painted, and brought back. You can see these sidewalks and the concrete in this area is also pretty broken up. And that will all be replaced. And then you see we have curbing going around the vegetated areas. That will remain in place and there'll be no change to the vegetation in this area. Next slide, please. All right, from the flagpole up to the Castle Island parking lot, more of the same, but it's roadway restoration of William J. Day Boulevard from Farragut Road to the Castle Island parking lot. The commission, probably 18 months ago, I believe, approved a water line to be run in the street up there. So we have that trench. There's been other utility maintenance pothole activity that's gone on there. The road's in pretty rough shape. So they're going to curb, do a mill and overlay and replace it. This is an activity, if it wasn't within land subject to coastal storm flowage, would be exempt from regulation, but rather than trying to parse things out in that area, we're just lumping it all into this one large maintenance NOI. At the Castle Island parking lot, some of the wooden guardrail on the ocean side is in a state of disrepair, so they're going to replace those poles and cross structures as needed. And then on the back side of Sullivan's, where the water line went in, that asphalt is in rough shape there as well, so there's just going to be a mill and overlay in that area. Next slide, please. And just some pictures. Here's the roadway. You can kind of see we have multiple types of asphalt out there, settling, potholes, and that's just going to be a curb-to-curb mill and overlay in that area. And then the photo on the left is right by the rink. The commission has approved sidewalk replacement on the rink side of the street, and now we'll just be doing some on the other side. Next photo, please, or next slide. Here's the some of the railing at the parking lot at Castle Island. Some of these members are broken. They'll be replaced as needed in that area. Obviously, erosion controls will be set up. No stockpiling of material, as this is within the buffer zone and land subject to coastal storm flowage. As always, keeping an eye on the weather whenever you do this work. If there's large storms coming in for any part of this work, we'll hit the pause button. And the photo on the right, you can see the trenching there. That's just that area behind Sullivan's where the mill and overlay will continue, just to smooth these areas out. Next photo, please. Or slide, please. Now, quite a bit of work will be going on here, but as I've said, it's all in-kind replacement. On here, we have to repave areas, fill potholes, replace the chain link fence, and there's some sinkholes out on Head Island that they want to replace. Out of all of it, this is the most hostile environment for storms and whatnot. A chain link fence with salt air, just in salt water coming on it all the time. They're all in a state of, everything out there is in a state of mild to moderate disrepair and needs to be replaced. The photos that we'll go to next will give you an idea of what it all looks like. Next slide, please. So here's the causeway leading out to Head Island. You can see the road here is in rough shape. The fence is old, dilapidated. They've patched cracks here before, but there's plenty of new cracks and a couple of potholes that these are, going to need to be dug out, backfilled, and then paved over. Next slide, please. Yeah, here's one of the sinkholes out on Head Island. You can see it's already as deep as the cone in that area. It's been marked out. So they're going to excavate around that. For this one, some flowable fill will be put in and then backfilled. So the flowable fill will go and seal any holes or cracks that material may be escaping through. And then it will be backfilled and paved over. And as I've said, you can see the fence is right there. The cross members have rusted through as one of the posts has just completely rusted away and is no longer present. And that's just an example of what the fence looks like, is many, many locations throughout the causeway where the fence looks like that or worse. Next slide, please. All right, so then Castle Island. This is where we do have a little bit of work coming up. Sidewalk replacement. In a few areas here where it's broken up, it's not a complete sidewalk replacement as we're doing down on William J. Day Boulevard. We have to repair the loafer railing near the Harry McDonough Sales Center. The loafer railing here is similar to what the commission has approved through an administrative approval already in the past for a different section of the loafer railing. And it's very similar to the railing at Kelly's Landing, where it's going to be unbolted, transported off-site, sandblasted, painted, and then brought back and just reassembled on-site. Going to remove and replace a dilapidated chain link fence around the boathouse. Repair the fence surrounding the fishing pier that's on the back side, and then installation of some slope stabilization features on that back side over by the fishing pier as well, and then by the Korean War Memorial on the southeastern part of the Castle Island itself. There's some large granite slabs that have been placed all around, and those have settled and moved. So they're just going to be reset. And the photos I have coming up next will give you an idea of what all that will look like. Next slide, please. So here's a few of the broken sections of pavement out on the island that will be repaired in situ. And to the left there, you can see the loafer rail. That is the fence I was referring to. It's just going to be unbolted and taken off site. Next slide, please. The photo on the left is just the fence going around the boathouse that is going to be repaired or replaced in kind. And to the right is the granite slabs that I was referring to at the Korean War Memorial. And you can see there's different gaps and settling, and they're not even at this point. So they're just going to be lifted up. The area will be smoothed out with some crushed stone, and they'll be set back in place at what was intended to be their original elevation. And there's already an administrative approval in place to go ahead and repair this section of loafer rail that's visible in the photo. Next slide, please. And so here's a photo of the fencing out on the fishing pier that will be repaired, and anything that needs to be replaced out there, if it's just been rotted through, will be that'll be taken care of. It will all be done in kind in the same location. There's no expansion of the pier or anything along those lines, and all activity is taking place above the water line. Next slide, please. And so here's the area where we're going to have a little slope stabilization that I was talking about. So this is probably, this is the one area of the entire project that's not going to look exactly the same as prior when we're done. As you can see, we're having some erosion come through. A lot of it is coming from the upland side. And it's just been, runoff sweeping down. And once the erosion starts, there's really not a whole lot you could do. You can see some fabric. They've tried just loaming and seeding in the past and putting crushed stone in the fabric down, and that hasn't worked. So what we're going to try to do is, with a Versalock block, put that in between the granite that you can see and the sidewalk, then loam and seed over that. So the Versalock block will hardly be seen, but it should stabilize that slope, prevent further erosion, and it will help maintain the historic look over it because the area will be grassed. That's the appearance it will have, because that is one of the issues for all the maintenance activities out here is coordinating with Mass Historic to make sure that everything we do maintains the historic character, especially around the fort. So I know it's a little hard to visualize when I'm talking about Versalock blocks and vegetating over them, but the next slides I hope will provide a little clarification for that. Next slide, please. So here's what the blocks look like. They're hand placed, so you don't need equipment in there. In this area, these have multi-uses for road hardening, and they do come in, say, like I'm going to call it large blankets where they're all connected. But that's if you're using it like a road hardening on a utility right of way or something like that. These ones are just going to be hand placed smaller blocks. Next slide, please. And so you get an idea. This is, don't be alarmed by the size of what you see in the backfill on the left-hand side. Because our strip is only going to be 24 or 28 inches wide, but that's what it would look like going in. Then you loam and seed over it. And then on the right, that's what it looks like. And you can't really tell that the slope hardening actually occurred, but it will hold it in place and allow it to infiltrate rain runoff. And the appearance is much better than a hardscape. And so that is it. I would be happy to answer your questions. I know this the presentation was probably about 16, 18 pages long, so there's a lot of stuff in there, but I'd be happy to entertain your questions at this time.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Happy to see that Legos has entered the industrial world with their materials there. That's a pretty cool technology there. So this is a rather large public works project. When I first looked at this, I guess I didn't understand the scope of this. This is I guess I'd ask Tom Volton, like, how long is this going to take? And can you give me an idea what the budget is? Like,
this was all driven by the 250th anniversary of the tall ships and the expected crowds that we're going to be having in Castle Island. So this is an initiative to try to, beautify and make safe for everybody that's going to be out there. We're going to start as soon as as soon as permits allow. Selectively, selectively working on a lot of the things that are more important. Like the water line that I'm sure John's going to ask about in a little bit will not get done before July 1st. That'll be afterwards because that's not, if you can, Chair Parker, if you can think about all the stuff that Tom just talked about, the stuff that's important to the public and for safety and aesthetics is going to get done try to get done before July 7th. Everything else is going to happen afterwards. As far as budget is concerned, there's many different aspects of this project that are going to be coming from several different budgets, but it's got to be in the millions.
Yeah. Tens of millions, maybe. Okay. So I was happy to see some light covered asphalt. So could you talk a little bit about the materials you're using, the asphalt you're using?
I am not the person to be a perfect person to be answering mixtures for asphalt. I know that we use a DOT spec for our paving. I don't expect it to be any different than what we usually use.
Okay. I'll do a little research on that while I let others talk here. Okay, Elena, what do you have on this?
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't have anything on this. We decided not to do a site visit since we're relatively familiar with the site already, but and we also did not receive any public comments ahead of the hearing. We did receive some inquiries from residents who were interested in learning more about the project, but no actual comments.
Great. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, Tom, you're right about the water line question. Are you replacing that with PVC or ductile iron? And does it have fire hydrants off it? And where does it connect? Because I'm just curious how it's metered and what you're going to be taking off it.
So it's HDPE pipe, similar to the main that we replaced going to Castle Island. Excuse me. The reason why it does have a hydrant off it. It connects from your system on Farragut Street.
Yep.
And the meter pit, if you want to go back to that slide, I don't know who's controlling the slides, but the one that showed, it's probably halfway through the presentation. I can kind of show you where
It's probably about the fourth or fifth slide into ours.
So this is a water main, John, that we've had several breaks on.
Yep.
So it's been in my queue to kind of replace whenever we could. And when we started to put this NOI together, I said, we're going to need to throw this in there because this is probably going to be one of the last things we do unless the paving project becomes ambitious. But right now, the existing water main runs down the sidewalk that's to the bottom left of this photo. So every time the line breaks, it's right along the promenade and the bike trail, so it becomes really problematic. So we're going to move it into the street, and the only thing we're going to be adding is that outdoor fountain, a drinking fountain next in spigot for the flagpole and the friends of the flagpole. They requested a spigot for watering their flowers and whatnot.
Yep.
But the meter is at the very end. You can see it's labeled meter pit.
Right.
And then from there's a couple of different lines that go off and feed everything that needs to be metered. The only thing that won't be metered, John, is the hydrant.
Right. So we'll just want to have that all approved, okay? Because I don't think you've sent that into us. So it just one of the conditions would be that part of the work can't be done till we send a letter of approval to the commission staff.
This is all DCR infrastructure.
Yep.
Except for the tie-in, which we won't be tying into. So I will be coordinating with BWSC on this.
Yep.
But there isn't much to approve, I don't think. But I'll have that argument with you when.
Yeah. We'll have that discussion, Tom. That's all it's called. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to point that out.
Excellent.
Because we already have an item in there that you got to get approval from our stuff. So that's not a big deal.
100%.
The big deal I see on this is there's two, and it's the drainage issue. All of your drainage that you're talking about from G Street up, all of that piping, which is fine, connects to the MWRA tunnel, which is eventually put into the Boston Water Sewer System. If there's any kind of infiltration because of high tides, et cetera, that get into your system that may have leaks, of course, that winds up being pumped into a sanitary system, costing us a fortune of money. We all know about the stormwater issues. So the two questions I have on all of that, have you televised the entire drainage system to make sure it's in satisfactory condition, such that you could repair any leaks or broken pipes or whatever? That's number one. Number two is, are all those catch basins built with adequate sumps to capture the debris so we're not putting debris into the large tunnel? So it doesn't, blow through, drop inlets, etc. So what have you done to get knowledge of your existing system and what condition it's in?
The drainage in this area was replaced when they did the tunnel. With
All of
yeah, all of this area anyway. And so sumps are all 3 foot or better. And it's new infrastructure. Sorry, my dog is going crazy in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So no expected issues with the drainage system. We maintain and inspect our stuff annually, especially in this area. And I do not know of any issues maintenance-wise that need to be done. I would have included it in this NOI.
Okay, okay.
To clarify as well, Commissioner, we're not proposing any improved impervious here that would increase runoff that, perhaps the drainage system might not be able to handle in its current state.
Oh, yeah,
And we're
no.
not-
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I just wanted to know the condition. If you say it's all been replaced, we can check that quickly. We've got the plans that the MWRA did, and we'll just double check that. Finally, is on all the other paths, as it is, and I know the whole walk around the island, and et cetera. Are you just running off sheet flow with no infiltration anywhere? You're just trying to replicate what you have today? Is that what we're doing?
That is the plan.
That's all. I'm just curious. I see it. It's probably ridiculous to go ahead and spend millions of dollars trying to drop a little bit of water out there. I don't see a big need. But I just wanted to double check. So we'll go over all of that with you, because there probably will be a condition in this that we will send before you start the work. And I know you've got to go like hell, and good luck to you trying to meet the tall ships requirement. But we can work that out. That won't be a big deal. So that's my only comments.
If I may, Commissioner Sullivan, for that condition, could it be worded to reflect only the element of the project you're concerned with? Because I would hate to even have to hold off on fencing repairs and things like that while you're reviewing the water line.
It would do with drainage infrastructure and water infrastructure that impacts the Water and Sewer Commission.
All right, very good then. Thank you.
You got plenty of other stuff. Good luck to you. We all know about permits and stuff. So.
Right.
And Tom, that's a standard condition in our order of conditions.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want, the
understand.
discussion between Mr. Vaulton and Commissioner Sullivan to
that could go on
hold
for
up other
years.
stuff.
I understand.
All right.
I get it. Yeah. Commissioner Linay.
I just had a couple questions about the causeway. One, as you replace that chain link fence, are you trying to salvage existing posts or replace like the ones that are obviously deteriorated? And then are you running a silt sock along that entire length during the milling and overlaying work? Or I didn't see that in the plan, but I don't know if I missed it.
It's right. There's so many things in that tiny little area, so many line types between buffers, banks, fences, but we are proposing erosion controls everywhere, because we do have to mill and overlay and then pull up those, any fence posts that are deficient. So we definitely need erosion control there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great.
That's
Thank
all I
you.
have.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, no, appreciate the scope and scale of what you guys are trying to achieve out there. And yeah, it's a great landscape. I guess 2 questions for you. One is sort of like whether there was any place where there was use for like geotextiles or some sort of similar like filter fabrics and things like that to try to help shore up what you were doing out there, or whether it's just too harsh and extreme of an environment.
So one of the reasons why we're doing that slope protection, Tom didn't mention it, but a lot of the erosion is coming from the seaside. during heavy storms. So there is
Oh, okay.
regular sheet flow coming from the sidewalk and everything, but the majority of that washout is coming from heavy storms from the ocean side. So that's why we're trying, and we've operations has filled that. You saw the pictures, has filled that void probably 5 times in the last 4 years. So we're trying to create something that's a little bit more hardscape, but still keep the natural feel of the grass visually. So we've been working with Natural Heritage to get that type of an aspect approved.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There was some geotextile fabric visible in that photo, so they had gone and attempted the softer approach.
It just didn't
Yeah.
hold up.
Okay. That's sort of what I was wondering. Is like, yeah, that sounds good. The only other thing was like my recollection. I was trying to find photos but couldn't. Is that there is some like ponding that happens across the path out there, sort of on the east portion, and like in the winter especially, it has a tendency to ice over as drainage gets poorer and poorer, so there's like it becomes somewhat impassable. I know you guys are trying to just replace in kind, but I was wondering if there was any chance, if A, if that actually was the case, and B, if there was some sort of like just, getting back up to some sort of grade so that that loop would be made whole.
Yes, during the paving for all of those pathways, pavement's going to be in the pathway part. Pavement will be pulverized, regraded, and then paved over again. So it should get rid of all of those sumps, depressions, low-lying areas, and things like that. It's a hostile area. 10 years from now, the winter weather will do what it does, and we may be back out there, but we'll solve everything will be leveled up at this time.
Okay, great. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Conan?
Thank you, Chair Parker. Given the scale of this project, I mean, at least geographically, it looks big. And the deadline, the tall ships come in July, right?
That's correct.
So are you going to be doing this like simultaneously everywhere or sequence it? Is there a priority here?
There's going to be sequences. There's 3 or 4 different contracting crews that will probably be scheduled to do the work. One crew will be doing the slope protection. Another fence crew will be doing the railing and fence work. There'll be a paving and sidewalk crew. So 3 different crews will be working simultaneously with the operations crew to make sure that, we're minimizing impacts to the visitors at the same time. It's obviously one of our big concerns, but given the deadline, there will be some give and take with that.
So thank you. There was a mention of in the G Street to the flagpole section, there was a mention of the roadway restoration being exempt from regulation. Why is that?
Oh, that's from G Street to the flagpole, there is only sidewalk restoration, but a mill and overlay of an area that's in the buffer zone only is exempt from regulation. And that's what's happening to that part of the roadway. But like 99.5% of that roadway is also within land subject to coastal storm flowage. So it technically is not exempt, but for something like that, we have filed RDAs in the past. I was just pointing out that rather than parsing this into many different things, we just lumped everything into one filing.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. And these Versa locks, I'm not familiar with those. And so do they like lock, like as Chair Parker was suggesting here, do they like lock with each other and stay in place? Is that how they stay intact?
Yes. Yeah, they'll fit together like puzzle pieces.
Cool.
And then if you recall one of the slides, there's solid portions and open areas. And the open areas get filled with loam, and then the whole thing gets covered with loam and then seeded, so you really don't see the block.
So it looks like soil. The whole thing looks like soil.
It will, yes. The very last slide of our presentation gave you an idea of what it looks like once the seed has had time to germinate.
Right, right. I saw that picture,
Yeah.
vegetated. Yeah, great. Thank you. That's
Thank
all
you.
so far.
Commissioner S. Smargiassi?
So, I'll say on the seating over the concrete block, well, time will tell. My suspicion is it's going to look that the soil above will mostly erode over time when people step off the path onto the grass. It'll probably still look better and be safer than the existing void. I would say I wouldn't try and oversell it'll look like a lawn.
You're
Because
absolutely correct. There are two applications that we're working with natural heritage now, but the other application is to have the block, the top of the block level with the grass, it's with the lawn itself, and then just grass grows in between. So you do, and I actually prefer that because I think you're correct. I think that if we put loam, 4 or 5 inches of loam over the block, that it may end up washing away. So we're working with natural heritage to figure out what is the best application for this area.
It's Mass Historic.
Mass
Yeah,
Historic,
working
I'm
with
sorry.
Mass
Thank you,
Historic,
Mass
yeah.
Historic.
Yeah.
My
And
apologies.
that makes sense.
the one thing-
Otherwise, you're likely to end up with a 4-inch drop off the edge of the pavement in any case. So,
And the one thing with as long as the blocks are there,
the path will
if
be
you
safe.
have to come in to do some maintenance, at least the block will prevent the sidewalk from being undermined. Because if you
Yeah.
recall one of those photos, that went 18 inches deep under that sidewalk, and it's basically acting like a bridge at this point.
Yep. No, I think it will solve the erosion problem in terms of shoring up the sidewalk. It's just I felt like it was a little bit oversale showing us the grassy slope there with nobody walking on it. This is kind of like the classic stone dust adjacent to a paved surface. It looks great for the first little bit, and then it erodes down because people are actually using it. I don't have the question. I'm glad you brought in the whole project at once. It's good to see the overall impact rather than seeing this in bite pieces. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And now I remember where I've seen this technology before. I think there's a section of the Greenway that has similar blocks. I don't know if they're the same blocks you're using, Tom, but and what they've done is they plant around them. So you can actually see the indentation of the blocks that are slightly in the subsurface. And it works pretty well, it seems. Commissioner Herbst?
Just had a question. I think this is a tough place for erosion control, given that I think you have only hard surfaces to attach anything to. So I was hoping you could say a little more, one, about how you're attaching the temporary fences, and what's your thought about what's the best you can do on erosion control in this setting?
So for the temporary fences, we're not taking down the entire fence at once. It will be done in sections. So temporary fencing will go in and be attached to the existing fencing on either side of it to cover the gap. So that will be locked in place there. The erosion controls, you brought up a great point because it is difficult, and that's why we're not proposing bales or silt fence in that area, because you just can't bang in the silt fence everywhere we would like it or tow in that silt fence. So we're coming in with the core fiber logs, which will have weight. Those can be banged in wherever there happens to be not an impermeable surface, where we don't have the asphalt or concrete. Those can be installed there. And as on the causeway, those will all be adjacent to the fence. They can just be secured with rope to a fence pole as it's going to help hold it in place.
Okay, I guess the place that maybe that doesn't address is the slope stabilization. And I know you said you're doing it by hand, but aren't you going to be digging out mechanically?
Yes, they will. And it's if we can go back to that, the core log itself. Could we go back to the photo of that area, please? I think it's probably on like page 66 or 67 of the presentation. And one more, please. Here we go.
Oh, okay. The fence.
Yep. So the core log can rest at the bottom of those granite slabs on that. while we're putting it in. It'll be difficult there, but it'll be on the inside of the fence and resting on that hard surface, and gravity will just hold it in place at those points. They're pretty heavy.
Okay.
And it will just be on this length here, but you're correct. They will have to excavate and get this area level in order to install those blocks.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough place. I don't know if sometimes, people put some kind of a screening up against a fence. I don't know if that's worth thinking about there. But
yeah, once again, we're paying attention to weather, and
Yeah.
due to the location, there's no stockpiles of materials. So things will be excavated from here, piled, and then loaded onto a dump truck and gone. And it's quite frankly, the pre-block installation will be almost no different than current conditions right now. Right? Because if it rains, when it rains right now, you can see the fabric's up. We've lost a lot of vegetation in this area. There's just gravel and pea stone. So that's what that's what's going to be set down on the bottom, is the gravel and pea stone for the blocks to sit in.
okay, I know it's a tough spot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Eleanor, any hands raised? I don't see any.
I don't see any hands raised either.
Nothing in the
Anything
chat.
in
You
the
didn't get
inbox,
any
nothing in
emails?
the chat.
Okay. So with that, I would entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions and close the hearing.
I'd like to make my 19th motion.
Thank you.
I will second that.
Fantastic. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2094 in Boston, file number 2026-033. No, I'm sorry, 2026-003 from the Law Office of Richard C. Linz on behalf of 913 Saratoga Street LLC for the proposed construction of a 3-unit residential building at 913 Saratoga Street in East Boston. Resource area is land subject to coastal storm flowage. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Good evening, Chairman Parker, and through to the members of the commission. My name is Richard Linz. I'm an attorney with the business address of 245 Sumner Street in East Boston on behalf of the petitioner. With me this evening is Fraser Allen, who is the principal for 913 Saratoga Street LLC, as well as Eric Zackerson, who's our project architect, and Peter Gammy, who is our engineer. If we want to jump down perhaps to slide 5 of my presentation, I'll try to be as brief. I know you do have a long agenda, and try to respect the 5-minute presentation rule. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this is a proposal to subdivide an existing vacant parcel into 2 parcels and construct a 3-unit residential dwelling on the subdivided parcel. This property is located, we can jump down one more slide. I think that's probably the one that works best. Yeah, this site is located in the Orion Heights section of East Boston, along one of the main thoroughfares, Saratoga Street, which leads into Orion Heights proper, as well as the rest of the neighborhood as we head south towards Maverick Square. Our proposal would create the 3-unit residential building. We are proposing this as a slab-on-grade construction. If we can jump down to the next slide, please. This is a good place to start. So you can see here the existing conditions on the site. There is an existing driveway that was located closest to the right side of the property. Because this project is compliant with the new amended zoning for East Boston, there is no requirement for off-street parking for either of the sites. So we'll talk about 915 shortly. We are not proposing any off-street parking on site, and as a result, we're able to close up the existing driveway that exists on Saratoga Street. Next slide, please. Just to give the commission an idea of location, immediately to our left of the site is a commercial building, as well as located directly to the rear. As you can see here, the site is vacant. During a site visit with staff, we did, or was inquired as to whether or not the history of this site had any structures on it. Our review of the site is that there's never been any structures on here. This has just essentially been preserved in connection with the adjoining three-unit dwelling located to the right. Next slide, please. We can jump down one more. I can come back to this if there's any questions with Mr. Gammy. So the existing site plan, as I discussed, we do have that curb cut located, if you're looking at the screen left towards the top. That curb cut will be closed in connection with the subdivision and the proposed project. Next slide, please. Our landscape plan is here. I can have Eric Zackerson talk about the specifics, but just a couple of metrics as they relate, at least for the zoning for the site. This is compliant with the new metrics and regulations that are applicable in the East Boston Neighborhood District. We are permitted to have no more than 60% lot coverage with any proposed building. This is at 57%. And the minimum permeable area on site has to be at least 30% for a mid-block condition. We do meet the permeability requirements as well. I believe we're a little over 40 somewhat percent in total. If we can jump to the next slide, please. Just some information about the zoning and the site itself, probably not the most relevant at this stage. We can jump to the next slide. Our floor plans, next slide. Elevations are probably the most important for this part of the conversation. Next slide, please. So one of the things that I will point out for the commission is this is located in the Coastal Flood Resiliency Overlay District. The building has been designed to be in complete compliance with CFROD requirements under Article 25A of the zoning code. We have confirmed with the Boston Planning Department and the resiliency officer that this is has been designed to meet all the requirements under coastal flood. Eric, I don't know if there's anything specific you want to add to this, but I believe that is the extent of the presentation for purposes of the architecture. Peter Gammy, who is our engineer, can address or speak to any of the other civil matters that the commission may have. So I'm happy to answer any questions by the commission. I think you're on mute, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry. Thank you. So did you read my lips? Did you get my question?
I wasn't looking at the screen. I apologize.
Okay. So a question that always comes up, I'll preempt it. What's going on with the roof? We're going to do some sort of green or light colored, green roof or light colored materials up there?
Yeah.
Sorry. Eric, go ahead. Sorry.
Eric Zackerson, architect for the project. The plan is to do a light colored EPDM or TPO roof on the flat surface.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Elena, what do you have on this?
Thank you, Chair Parker. So for this, similar to the first hearing of the evening, there was a tree which was removed. We've recommended that be considered as part of the existing impacts as part of this project, since it would have had to come out to construct this building anyway. There is a letter in the project file for the commission's review from an arborist, which speaks to the poor health of the tree. But I just wanted to flag that ahead of time.
Okay, I appreciate that. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, you didn't mention that you're infiltrating the roof area into the ground?
I could let Mr. Gammy speak to that. Peter, I don't know if you have a comment on that.
Yeah, yes. Yes, all of the roof area is being collected and piped into a mini manhole with a sump and then into a subsurface infiltration system, which also has an overflow going out to the street. The system is sized for 3-inch storm versus the 1 inches, which is typical BWSC requirements.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention for the record. I just had another question. On a building like this that's so close to the next building, are there windows alongside it so people can look out their window and touch their neighbor? I'm just curious what the side windows look like.
So the Eric Zackerson again. The two, this project and the next one, are actually touching. So they're gonna they have no windows there. They kind of share not a party wall, but two walls that are adjacent. On the other sides, we're about 3 feet from the property line, and 3 feet from the adjacent building is another 3 feet away. So we'd be 6 feet from physical feet from the adjacent building. But yes, there are windows along the side. We try and focus on the front and the back, but there are some on the sides.
Right. I was just curious how it works. That's all I had.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Linay?
I'm intrigued by the clover lawn that you're proposing, and I was curious if that's something you're able to source as a sod, or you're seeding it, and if there is any establishment period care that's planned for that.
Hey, Amy. My name's Fraser Allen. I'm the proponent on the project. To be totally honest, I'm not 100% sure on the process of installing clover lawn, but our landscape architect put that plan together, and I didn't really question it, but we can get those details if needed, or I'm sure we'll be doing it as the material calls for.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's not a critical question. I was just curious, so appreciate that as a different type of approach to a lawn. So that's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, no further questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Conan?
Is this an area where, I mean, I'm curious about the flooding in this area, because I know Chelsea Creek and the harbor used to be connected around here, but I don't know if exactly it is this area. When you look at that map with showing the flooding, it does look a little concerning. So from the elevation slide, maybe could you tell us how far you expect the 2070 flooding to come up?
I will defer to Mr. Gammy on that, or to Eric Zackerson.
Yeah, so the 100-year, the flood line comes up approximately halfway up the into the property. So the Saratoga Street, most of the building is on the high side out of the flood zone, with a portion of it at the back being in it, and then the whole back lawn area is within that flood zone.
So, Mr. Gammy, Peter, if you could explain, so this went through CFRAD review. So there's a requirement for a certain amount of freeboard. It's escaping me right now. I think it's like 2 feet.
Yeah. The design flood elevation, or the base flood elevation, is 19.5, and the red line you see across here is the design flood elevation at 21.5. So we're 2 feet above the base flood elevation at the finished floor of the first floor. That's why the building has a staircase and a lift on the left side of this drawing.
So that entire lift will be underwater, basically, if water came up to the design flood elevation level.
And the staircase, yes, they would both be
and the staircase. But there would be an exit or something in the back, or was it the other way around?
No, the exit is in the front, but in the event of a flood, the people can stay within their home. Going in and out will be tricky, but that's going to be the situation with all buildings.
It'll be a shelter in place kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And all the appliances are above this level.
And all the appliances and all the electrical is above that red line. In fact,
thank you.
Below the red line is going to be concrete and infilled soil.
And you also have flood storage, I assume.
Yeah, that'll probably be in the backyard.
Do you know how much?
That would be Peter.
Yeah, right now we've got with the infiltration systems, I believe the number is around 420 cubic feet of storage.
How did you determine that?
That's just determined based on the system that we put in. We have 3 Coltex. We actually increased the number of chambers from 1 to 3 to increase that storage capacity. So that's the chambers, which are 100% void, and then the crushed stone around, which is 30% void. So the combination of the two gives you your on-site storage.
I see.
Or yeah, below grade storage.
None of that matters.
you.
Everything's underwater. So
Yeah.
at this flood
Yeah,
elevation, the
just
good news is they don't have any parking, so they can go to their rowboats rather than their cars. So that's the plus.
Thanks. All right, thank you. That's all, Chair Parker.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Smargiassi?
My questions just got answered. I was wondering about the flood elevations, so it's good to see this drawing brought up.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Herbst?
I guess just a question, although I think if you're saying that you're doing triple what the Boston Water and Sewer Commission requires, it may be irrelevant, but do you have any plans for maintaining your pavers? Because they won't stay permeable for long if they aren't maintained.
I think the short answer is yes. It's a pretty standard, the pavers themselves will be sort of cleaned and vacuumed and maintained in terms of, any kind of weeds or things that are growing up in between them. Much more beyond that, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do. I suppose at some point in the future you could replace them all, but
I guess I was referring to vacuuming, and when I see this kind of small amount of area, I guess I wonder who's going to invest in doing that. Is this owner occupied or rented or what?
Through the chair, this is intended for home ownership, and I know that when we did our site visit with staff, we had indicated that there may be certain conditions that we can incorporate into the condominium documents as well. That would be permanent for the property. We have some experience in doing this with other projects, so we understand that those types of concerns can easily be folded into rules, regulations, and items in the master deed.
Okay. As I say, in this case, it sounds like you have prepared for the stormwater needs, so not such a big issue to me. That's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for bringing up that home ownership issue, Commissioner Herbst. So one thing we'd want, Richard, is the master deed to reference the order of conditions so that future homeowners know that they're in a subject to Concom jurisdiction and that there are certain requirements, and one of them would be maintenance of the pavers. So we'll be putting that into the order of conditions. Elena, any hands raised?
No hands raised and nothing in the inbox or the chat either.
Okay. And Elena, do we have that in our standard conditions?
For the
regarding...
pavers, no. So I
don't?
can make a note of that and we should include that in the motion as well. But I can pull from previous.
Yeah, we do it all the
projects where
time. So yeah.
or we've had that language.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions with the special condition that notice of the order of conditions be included in the condominium governing documents and to close the hearing.
Continuing my marathonic quest, I'd like to make that motion.
Fantastic.
And I'll second it, continuing mine.
Perfect. Commissioner Sullivan.
Aye.
Commissioner Linay.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Commissioner Conan.
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi.
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, Richard and team, don't go away. Next item is notice of intent for DEP file number 006 2095 and Boston file number 2026-004 from Law Office of Richard C. Linz on behalf of 913 Saratoga Street LLC for the proposed construction of a 3-unit residential building at 915 Saratoga Street in East Boston. Resource area land subject to coastal storm flowage. Floor is yours.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair, and through to the members of the commission. For the record, once again, my name is Richard Linz. I'm an attorney with the business address of 245 Summer Street, East Boston. On behalf of the petitioner, with me, Fraser Allen, owner representative, as well as Eric Zackerson, the project architect, and Peter Gammy, our engineer. I will make the record, because I know this is a separate and independent hearing, Mr. Commissioner, but I'll try to be as brief as possible. I know, again, you have a large agenda, so if we can jump right down to slide, I believe it's slide 5, just as the quick overview of the site. One more, there we go, perfect. So again, this is located in the Orion Heights section, immediately adjacent to the last hearing that we just covered. This is on Saratoga Street, main thoroughfare in the East Boston neighborhood, located in a coastal flood resiliency overlay district, and again, a vacant lot that is being subdivided to allow for the construction of a new 3-unit residential dwelling. Next slide, please. Existing conditions showing the vacant lot located immediately adjacent to an existing triple decker at 911 Saratoga Street. Next slide, please. And just another view showing the surrounding context of commercial buildings and existing driveway that will be closed in connection with this project, as we do not have any requirement for off-street parking and not proposing any off-street parking. Next slide, please. I know we skipped over this last time. I don't know if there was any specific questions on the civil plan, but Mr. Gammy, again, is available to address any comments or questions. This does show the infiltration system that is being proposed at 915, similar to what we saw for 913. I can come back to this if there's any particular questions. Next slide, please. Existing conditions plan, next slide. And our proposed conditions plan, we can see very similar to the last presentation we made, where we cover less than 60% of the ground with proposed structure, and we maintain approximately 40 some odd percent of permeable space on the site, both consistent with the regulations, new regulations adopted for the East Boston Neighborhood District under the Boston Zoning Code. Next slide, please. Just some additional information just to show the site in context. Next slide, please. Our floor plans, not necessarily relevant here. Next slide. And our elevations, as we showed last time, and as I mentioned, this is the Coastal Flood Resiliency Overlay District. Our building has been designed to be completely compliant with Article 25A of the code. As you can see here, we do indicate the base flood elevation as well as the design flood elevation 2 feet above the area that's been identified as base flood elevation. This is access from a stairwell in the front. There is a lift that would allow for access for those with disabilities to get to the main level, first level. Once again, this is a project that involves 3 residential units, no parking, and completely compliant with the Boston Zoning Code. I will pause there and again allow for the commission to ask any specific questions of the architect or the engineer or the proponent.
Okay, thank you. And if you just indulge me, this is a absolutely off-topic question. The buildings are so close. It's not a party wall. How did that work with the fire code firewall?
I'll let Eric Zackerson address that.
Yeah, what's the separation you need there,
Yeah,
or is it
thank you.
special materials?
No, nothing particularly special. They both have a 1-hour wall. Effectively, you can't add them together, but both buildings would have a 1-hour wall with the anticipation that at some point one or the other could be removed, could burn down. Both of them will have their own freestanding 1-hour wall in such a way that they could be removed if they needed to be.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you. And I apologize to everyone and thank you for indulging me in an off-topic question here. Elena, what do you have on this?
Apologies, I was muted. I don't have anything to add. I did have a quick clarification because I'm assuming that the motion is going to be pretty similar for this as it was for the last project. For the conditions, I know that we noted that this should be included in any deeds related to the condos, and I wanted to confirm that we did want to include the special condition for paver maintenance.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes, not so much a
Yeah.
comment as a clarifying question, but we didn't
A
have
lot of
anything.
times what we do is we require the pay. I thought we had a condition in there regarding pavers and the maintenance of pavers, right?
We have a condo condition, we have conditions related to pavers, and then we do have sometimes a condition related to the maintenance of the pavers being included in the condo documents. So it kind
Got
of
it.
functions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
that we'll just cover all bases with
Okay,
all
I
three
understand.
categories.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Sullivan,
No questions.
Commissioner Linay,
No questions for me.
Commissioner Wilson,
No further questions.
thank you. Commissioner Conan,
None from me either.
Commissioner Estes Marchiazzi,
No further questions.
Commissioner Herbst.
No questions.
Wow, that was a first. Amazing. Okay, we ran the table. Okay, So with that, I would entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions with the special condition that the condominium docs notice or incorporate the order of conditions and the paver maintenance obligations that will be included in the order of conditions.
And close the hearing.
And close the hearing, thank you.
And I'm dying to make a motion.
Please do.
I just did.
Oh, okay.
Second that motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Aye.
Commissioner Linay?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Commissioner Conan?
Aye.
Commissioner Estes-Margiassi?
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay, next item on the agenda, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2093 and Boston file number 2026-002 from Fort Point Associates on behalf of the MP Properties Roman numeral 5 LLC, care of Marcus Partners, to perform a geotechnical analysis and evaluation of subsurface materials by conducting up to 11 test borings and 6 VibraCore samples at 3 Dolphin Way in South Boston waterfront neighborhood. Resource areas, 25-foot waterfront area, designated port area, land under ocean, fish runs, land subject to coastal storm flowage, and 100-foot buffer to coastal bank. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Hi, Chair Parker. I'm Erica Frazier with 4 Point Associates.
Who
And
else do you
also
have?
with me tonight is Ken Fields in my office, Danielle Blake with Marcus Partners, and I believe City of Boston.
Yun Chai is
Yes,
here
Yun
from the
Chai,
City of
yes.
Boston.
Thank
Great.
you.
Okay. Floor is all yours, Erica.
Thank you. Dee Dee, if you could progress the slides. Oh,
The wrong package.
yes, this I believe is may have skipped one. Thank
we
you. So if we could progress 2 slides, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Marcus Partners is the designated developer of Parcel M in the Raymond L. Flynn Marine Park, which is owned by the City of Boston EDIC. The proposed project is to conduct 5 test borings on land and 6 test borings in water for geotechnical analyses, and also 6 VibraCore samples for preliminary evaluation of subsurface conditions, also in the water. Next slide, please. Just to get you acquainted with the project site, the image on your left is on the northernmost portion of the project site, looking towards Boston, east towards Boston Harbor. The middle slide is the eastern edge of the project site, looking towards the terminal. And the last image is showing the East Jetty portion of the project site, looking north towards Logan Airport. Next slide, please. The first image is looking the other direction at the East Jetty, as well as the location of some of the in-water borings. The middle image shows the south side of the building and project site adjacent to the South Jetty, looking west. And the last image is looking toward the building on the west. Next slide, please. As Chair Parker mentioned, the existing resource areas and buffer zone at the project site include coastal bank, land under ocean and DPA, fish run, land subject to coastal storm flowage, the coastal bank buffer zone, and the City of Boston waterfront area, which is 25 feet. So we will have temporary impacts to land under ocean and fish run with regards to the 6 test borings and 6 vibrocore samples for approximately 1 square foot of impacts. For land subject to coastal storm flowage, there will be 5 test borings, which results in 0.4 square feet of impacts. And then there will be 3 test borings in the coastal bank buffer zone, which will result in 0.3 square feet of impacts. Next slide, please. For mitigation measures, so the boring material will be containerized in drums. The casings will maintain the work in a closed system to minimize turbidity. No discharge of any pollutants during construction or upon completion. The project site will be maintained in a clean and orderly manner. And then all asphalt and paved areas will be restored to match the existing conditions. And we will prepare a spill management plan in accordance with the order of conditions. Also wanted to add that Mass DMF did waive the time of year restrictions for the in-water work. Next slide, please. And that is our quick presentation.
Erica, is it worth, sorry, this is Danielle Blake from Marcus Partners. I just want to say, obviously this is for the boring program to do due diligence to understand the geotechnical conditions at the site. Just by way of background, we were designated the parcel for a new ground lease and a redevelopment opportunity. So we would be coming with a future NOI for the proposed project, right? I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, appreciate that, adding that context, Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
Chair Parker, you're muted.
I have a sick child in the background here, so I have to keep on muting. No, I appreciate that, and especially since you put in the NOI for the soil borings, I think we would be on the lookout for something else. But thank you.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it in our NOI as well.
And congratulations on that. Okay, so I don't really have any questions on this, and I apologize. In one of my ways to try to move this hearing along, I found a new way to do that. I just skipped over the last proponent and went straight to you, so hopefully it didn't take you by surprise. But we'll head back to the NOI that was supposed to be in this place. I don't have anything on this. Elena?
I didn't have anything on this either. I was going to mention the DMF comment, but Erica covered that, so we should be set.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yeah, there seems to be an excess number of geotechnical borings for a site as small as this. Why so many out in the water? Are you planning on expanding a building out waterfront?
No, so the proposal is to replace the existing building with a new building. We are currently in conversations with a prospective tenant who is a marine robotics company. And so as part of our project, we will be installing a marine facility to support that user. So that is why we have the in-water boring program.
And you're looking more for structural geotechnical issues more than pollution?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
That's
That's all.
There's a course for sediment sampling as well included in this. We wouldn't normally file for those, but they are to determine the bulk chemistry and the sediment size in case any future dredging is required.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have for questions.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Linay?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
None here either, thanks.
Commissioner Conan?
Thanks, Chair Parker. So there won't be building extending into the watershed, but there'll be some sort of structure, will there?
Yes.
What would it be?
It would be a marine facility to support the marine industrial user, so that is still being contemplated.
Okay, so you don't know at this time what that will be, that marine facility. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Estes Margiazzi?
Commissioner Sullivan asked my question on the borings in the water, so I'm settled. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Herbst?
No questions. Thanks.
I don't have any others. So, Elena, any hands raised?
No hands raised, nothing in the inbox or the chat either.
Fantastic. Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions and close the hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, Chair Parker.
You're welcome.
I'm in there. I'm in there. So moved.
I just have to get through this. Okay. Commissioner Estes Margiazzi, are you going to second us? Okay, fantastic.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Aye.
Commissioner Linay?
Aye, excuse me.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Commissioner Conan?
Aye.
Commissioner Estes Margiazzi?
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, thank you. Good luck. Next item on the agenda, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2092 and Boston file number 2026-001 from LEC Environmental Consultants, Inc. on behalf of the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation for the proposed improvements to a portion of the Neponset River Greenway, including installation of a concrete seating area and installation of native plantings located in Dorchester. Resource area is 25-foot riverfront area, land subject to coastal storm flowage, 100-foot salt marsh area, 100-foot buffer to bank, 25-foot waterfront area, and an ACEC. So that's an extraordinary resource area recognized by the state. For some reason, it's escaping me. It's like an extraordinary environmental resource, and that's the best I have. So, who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Hi, good evening. Claire Hogebone, wetland scientist with LEC Environmental Consultants.
Good evening, commissioners. It's Stella Lansing, project manager from DCR.
Great. Stella's back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hopefully this won't take over a year to close.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if Nan is also on. Maybe not. Yes, she is. From Stantec. A project manager from Stantec.
Yes. So I can jump right into the presentation if that
Yes,
works for
please.
the
Floor is
commission.
yours. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So on behalf of DCR, this is the notice of intent for improvements to the Neponset River Greenway. Next slide, please. The project area is 412 linear feet within the eastern segment of the Neponset River Greenway, just west of Granite Avenue. On this image, you see the tidally influenced Neponset River to the south of the site. Within the 8,500 square foot project area, we have the multi-use path that you see sort of extending linear from east to west, just north of Neponset River. There's a 2-foot wide gravel shoulder on each side of that paved path. It's about 10 feet wide. And as you head west, you see there's 3 parking spaces within the existing parking lot included in the project area. In addition to that very northwest corner of the project area, it's a manicured lawn area that has 2 benches, a kiosk, and 4 non-native trees or saplings, and that area is also subject to erosion. You can see in the left corner of the photo, in the top left corner of this image, is the salt marsh that's located on the north side of the pathway, and there is evidence of erosion that's occurring, trending towards that salt marsh. You can see in the photo in the bottom right here that the pathway itself is becoming subject to erosion and degradation itself, so it's in need of repair. Next slide, please. So this is looking west in the Neponset River Greenway. You see the parking lot to the photo right or north. So just heading from left to right or south to north for resource areas to get familiar with the site. We have the bank mean high water to the Neponset River. Just up gradient of that boundary, there's a fringing salt marsh occurring along the entire stretch of the project area. We have the 25-foot riverfront area that really only extends into the gravel shoulder in the westernmost portion of the project area. It doesn't extend into the paved portion of the pathway. The remainder of the site, including the path and areas north, are located within land subject to coastal storm flowage, the 25-foot waterfront buffer, and the 100-foot buffer zone. And as Chairman Parker pointed out, the entire site is mapped within the area of critical environmental concern, I believe is what you were looking for. I think Commission Member Cannon pointed that out in the chat as well. Next slide, please. So this is a screenshot of the plan view of proposed conditions. You see in blue, very obviously on the plan, is the salt marsh delineation to the south, and there's the sort of corner indicated with the E series to the immediate west of the manicured lawn area in the project area. But ultimately, the project includes mill and overlay of the existing path, so there's no new impervious or no widening of the multi-use pathway, and the grades will not change either, so it'll just be replaced in kind. The 2-foot wide gravel shoulders will be loamed and seeded with a native seed mix as well to improve those conditions and improve erosion that's occurring on the shoulders. Those 3 parking spaces you see sort of plan left a bit next to all of the busy arrows coming in and out of the project area are 3 existing parking spaces that will be repurposed for 2 ADA compliant parking spaces. And from there is a proposed 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk. And within the manicured lawn area where the 2 benches were and the 4 non-native species, those 4 non-native species will be removed and replaced with 13 native woody shrubs, and a concrete pad will be installed for the benches to be replaced onto, along with a kiosk, bicycle storage, and a stormwater swale with soft rush will also be constructed in order to hopefully mitigate some of the erosion that's occurring within that portion of the site. Next slide, please. So our notice of intent application addressed the performance standards applicable to this project. We discussed riverfront area. We only have 70 square feet of work within riverfront area. It's within the gravel shoulder again, but under the Wetlands Protection Act regulations and the Boston Ordinance regulations, it is considered a minor or exempt activity. Nonetheless, the project is located with land subject to coastal storm flowage, and that is the entire project footprint within that. So we did address that under the ordinance regulations in our notice of intent and also address the buffer zone. Additionally, Stantec prepared the stormwater checklist and a brief memorandum documenting the project's, the redevelopment project's compliance with the stormwater management standards to the maximum extent practicable. And of course, DCR has a operations and maintenance plan for MS4 compliance that would be implemented and continue to be implemented at this site as it is presently. Next slide, please. So finally, mitigation measures to ensure this project does not result in adverse impacts to resource areas. The project will implement erosion and sedimentation controls prior to the start of construction that would remain in place until the site is stabilized. You see the detail in the bottom right of this slide that's incorporated into the plan details. Additionally, improvements to resource areas within the project footprint includes stabilizing bare and degraded shoulders. You see in the photo in the top right, that's the gravel shoulder that I've been talking to that's occurring on each side of the pathway that's susceptible to erosion and sedimentation into the river that will be seeded with a native seed mix. By decreasing or removing invasive and non-native species within the site, increasing with native and native plants, and the water quality swale will improve the site as well. And there are a few climate resiliency improvements that we listed as well and discussed in the notice of intent. But I think with that, next slide is, I believe, goes to questions. So happy to pass it back to the commission.
Fantastic. Thank you. And so, mea culpa here. It's very embarrassing for an environmental attorney to flub an acronym That's my whole life. But I was looking at phase one environmental site assessments all day, and condition of environmental concern means something very different in that context. It means contamination, basically. And I just realized for the first time we're using the same term for two things that are really the total opposite of each other. So that's my explanation, and I'm going to stick with that. I don't really have any questions on this. Eleanor, what do you have?
Yeah, excuse me, we didn't really have any questions or additional comments either. Just want to flag that there are some site visit photos in the Drive folder. But we conducted a site visit and felt like all of our questions were answered at that point.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan.
Yeah, do you guys have or maintain any trash barrels along this walkway area, especially where you're building a new seating area? Would there be an opportunity for people to put their pet waste if they pick it up along the way?
We are including a trash barrel, but and this is going to be new in this area. We do have trash barrels in some other parts along the Neponset River Greenway, so we're going to pilot a trash barrel in this area.
Nice. So this is the area that I walk around, and I like you to do it because me and my dogs thank you. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Linay.
Yeah, I also spend a lot of time here, both on the path and in the river, so I appreciate the investment. I was curious, I guess a couple of things, curious just how long the work is expected to take, and then, I know along that shoreline, there's a lot of Phragmites, and it's obviously a probably very almost impossible thing to resolve, but is there any consideration in long term to addressing some of that, or is it really just sort of managing it, cutting it back is the only thing you can really do?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer, it just seems like really strange to answer in this way, but in my part of the DCR, our focus really is on these types of trailhead improvements, and we don't get too much into invasive vegetation management. That's a different department. So yes, I know it's really quite challenging and probably very long multi-year process, but not within the purview of our department.
That makes sense. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and then how long do you think this work will take? That was the other.
Currently we have not identified immediate funding for it. We're looking for finding some funding in the next fiscal year or the year after that. And we imagine, it wouldn't take more than, a few months because it isn't a large project. And we imagine it would be something that could be done, quickly, May, June, potentially July, that type of thing, like a 3 to 4 month time frame.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Commissioner Wilson, are you back on?
I believe he's hopping off for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's what his text would indicate, but I see him there. I see his microphone.
Yes, sorry.
Go.
About my laptop. Further,
Okay. I speak garbled transmission. He said no further questions. Commissioner Conan?
Yeah, that is exactly what I heard too.
Yeah.
So this is great. I'm a bit surprised that before having funding and therefore a plan to execute on the project, you're here. And what if the funding's delayed by 2 or 3 years? I wonder. But not my real question or concern here. I appreciate that you're bringing the project here, though, for us to learn from and look at the signage. I've been looking at this the diagram just to see what kind of signage you have. You do have some signs for parking, and I think you have another sign somewhere else. This DCR public parking. It only seems to be about parking, but given that you have some climate resiliency features here, why not take the opportunity to educate the folks that use the space to talk about what those features are.
I'm I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but we also do have an interpretive services department at DCR that would typically handle those types of things. And so, this is not in the purview of this specific project, although overall we'd like to get more interpretation signage along the entire length of the greenway. So we didn't include it here.
But it is something you would think about.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely ideas that we've been considering for the entire greenway, and should we embark on that? And again, not within the purview of the Trails and Greenway section, but more in the purview of working with our interpretive services section and department. That's what we would consider as adding some of that verbiage.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Smargiassi?
I have no questions. Glad we're fixing up this little stretch.
Agreed. Commissioner Herbst?
Count me as another fan of the Greenway. No questions. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions and close the hearing.
Oh, and apologies, Chair Parker. I'm just confirming that we don't have any hands raised and we don't have anything for public.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
He's not going to, I will.
Thank you, Commissioner Linay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan? Is he gone?
He's there, but his mic is off. But his camera's off too.
He's coming back.
I'm
coming back
putting
in.
him into the room right now.
He's wrestling with the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I was wrestling with the dogs, and they overtook my iPad. But I'm back, and I'd love to make a motion if you guys haven't taken away my proudness.
Sorry.
You lost it.
I'm just looking for an A or an A here.
You got your A, and if anybody needs to get 2 dogs, they're up for sale.
Okay. Commissioner Linay?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Commissioner Conan?
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi?
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Bye.
Okay, next item, notice of intent for DEP file number 006-2097 from VHB on behalf of the Massachusetts Port Authority for the proposed column repairs and architectural finishes, roof and facade repairs, installation of a hold room and interior security wall at Flynn Cruise Port 1 Black Falcon Avenue, South Boston. Resource areas land subject to coastal storm flowage and 100-foot buffer to coastal bank. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Good evening. My name is Taylor Donovan. I'm with VHB here on behalf of Massport. There's a few folks from Massport on the line. I see we have Chet Myers, Chris Bush, Mary Orlando, and also John Luca Corsetti here.
Great. Floor is all yours.
Thank you. Mary, I don't know if you wanted to get started.
Taylor, why don't you go ahead?
Sure. We can advance to the next slide, please. So as mentioned, this project is for the Flynn Cruise Port, some modernization features at the existing building. It's at 1 Black Falcon Avenue at the existing cruise port. Next slide, please. Project location is outlined in red in the attached in the aerial on the right side of the screen. We are located on the north side of the reserve channel, and the project is located within land subject to coastal storm flowage and the 100-foot buffer zone to coastal bank. Some of the modernization features include repair of exterior columns and associated architectural finishes, repair and replacement of sections of the roof, facade, and clear story, installation of a new hold room, and installation of security walls within the semi-exterior breezeway. Next slide, please. So just to show some of the resource or where the resource areas lie in relation to the project site. The red line at the bottom of the screen on the plan view shows the limit of land subject to coastal storm flowage, where we have our transition from the VE zone to the AE zone. So everything to the north of that is located within land subject to coastal storm flowage. And then the teal dashed line shows the limit of the 100-foot buffer zone within the limits of the project site. Go to the next slide, please. So as mentioned, the proposed work within resource areas and buffer zone includes repair of exterior columns. For this work, that includes concrete pocket removal at the base of the columns, steel repair, and then concrete pour back in those select locations. Installation of a new hold room. This will occur in the northern portions of the building. So away from the resource area, there will be removal and replacement of wall there. And then on the top of the building, we have repair and replacement of sections of the roof, facade, and clear story. And this is in support of that new hold room that I just mentioned. And then the security walls that will be installed within the breezeway. We wanted to just include for the commission's knowledge of this work occurring. As I mentioned, it's semi-exterior, but the garage bays that allow this area to be accessible and open to the outside, those bays will be closed to prevent any impact from that work. There will be construction equipment located on the main deck of adjacent to the project site. And similar to the work that's currently occurring, all dumpsters and construction debris lay down, everything will be located outside the 100-foot buffer zone. We can go to the next slide, please. So just to give a quick overview of where the work is located, all of the yellow on the page here is showing where there are columns to be repaired. So on the north and south side of the building. The blue hatching on the south side is showing where the balcony replacement that was previously before the commission occurred. The orange box is showing where the security walls will be installed on the interior, semi-interior portion of the building. And then the green to the right of that is showing where the roof, facade, and clear story repairs will be happening on the exterior and the top portions of the building. So there's no permanent impacts proposed to any resource areas, and the duration of work is expected to be about 14 months. So we're expecting completion by April of 2027. Next slide, please. And so this is just giving a profile view of the building itself. So highlighted in yellow are the actual proposed work items. So on the top portion, you see the facade repairs, clear story, and roof repairs. If you look at the bottom of this image, you can see there's a red square on the left and the right. That's just showing the small footprint that's associated with each of those column repair pockets. So very minimal amount of work within the resource area. And the red line going across the bottom actually shows the elevation of where the NAVD 88 at 12 feet is located on the site. So land subject to coastal storm flowage is basically at ground level here. Just wanted to include that for perspective. And then you do see the limit of the 100-foot buffer zone again in that teal dashed line going through the center of the building. And next slide, please. And for our mitigation measures, similar to how the site is currently set up with the work occurring, the erosion controls will remain at the lower edge of the deck along the timber rail out there. So it's on the south side of the work area. Those erosion controls will remain in place until the start of the active crew season, which starts April 14th of this year. And then they will be removed and replaced at the start and end of each workday, not to impede other activities occurring on the project site. The active crew season begins again on November 8th. So at that time, the erosion controls will be installed and remain in place throughout the next winter season. There also will be localized containment socks around the column pocket repairs. That's what that bottom image is showing. So the sock will just be placed around each column before that concrete removal and pour back work occurs. And as is the condition on site today as well, the spill kits and secondary containment will be used as needed on the site. I believe that is it. So happy to answer any questions the commission may have about the project.
Great. Thank you, Taylor. I don't have anything on this. Eleanor, what do you have?
Thank you, Chair Parker. Just confirming again that the DEP file number has been assigned for this project, but we didn't have anything else on this.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
I assume this work will start after Sale Boston?
No, no, Commissioner Sullivan. This work is going to start soon after permitting.
Oh, okay. And the other question I had, is this like the everlasting building? You guys come in here every 4 to 6 months doing something on this thing. Is this ever going to get finished?
So the building was built in 1918. So it does require quite a bit of TLC. But we are also admittedly being a little overly cautious in making sure that we come in whenever we think anything we're doing could,
Right.
skew the line into your jurisdiction. So you definitely could accuse us of being just a little overzealous in making sure that we come before you for anything we think could be covered. So
No,
there's that.
it just gives me a reason to believe that when I pay those outrageous parking fees at Logan, it's going towards something. So that's good. Makes me feel good.
This all sounds eerily familiar, similar
Yeah.
to Fenway Park.
Yeah. That's it. Those are my questions.
Okay, Commissioner Linay,
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Wilson,
Your questions and you're sticking to them. I appreciate that. Commissioner Sullivan, no questions from me either. Thank you.
thank you. Commissioner Conan,
No questions.
okay. Commissioner Smargiassi,
No questions.
Commissioner Herbst.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Elena, any hands? Anything in the chat, email?
No, I see no hands and nothing in chat or email either.
Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion to issue order of conditions and close the hearing.
As a tatted commissioner with a broken record, I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is request for an amendment to the original order of conditions for DEP file number 0061979 and Boston file number 2024-003 from Weston and Sampson Engineers on behalf of the Boston Parks and Recreation Department for the proposed playground improvements and the construction of vegetated earthen berm, public gathering spaces, and river walk improvements located at 75 Alfred Street in Charlestown. Resource areas, land subject to coastal storm flowage, coastal bank, waterfront, riverfront, 100-foot buffer to coastal bank and 100-foot buffer to coastal beach. This was continued from the November 5th, 2025 hearing. Commissioner Linay?
I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you. So noted. Okay, who's here on behalf of the proponent?
I am Brandon Kunkel with Weston and Sampson, and I believe B. Chatfield is also here for Boston Parks as well.
Great. Okay, Brandon, all yours.
Great, thanks so much. I hope this is only a few minutes of your time. I know it's getting late, but as was noted, this is an amendment to an already existing order of conditions. The amendment request is as a result of some early phase 1 construction where we were originally intending to build a seawall, but due to below grade utility obstructions, we had to abandon the seawall, and in place of it, we made some modifications where there were obstructions and are replacing the seawall with an earthen berm. Next slide. What is on the left, what was previously approved and is in the current order of conditions. What is on the right is the amended request changes, the clouded areas specifically. If you're able to zoom in, you can see the changes. But ultimately, what those areas are highlighting is where we hit utility conflicts, whether it was with Eversource or National Grid. And we had to make adjustments to the seawall layout or abandon the seawall altogether. And we are looking to put in place specifically, which would be the upper right corner in the earthen berm. Otherwise, we're just adjusting the existing or the proposed seawall location. Next slide. Zoomed in area, again, I know it's still hard to read, but these just the clouded areas, if you could read the text, highlight the areas of conflict. Ultimately, we ended up reducing some paved area, eliminating some seawall, and adjusting some of the sidewalks in order to maintain the connections. One of the overlook areas got smaller as a result of the conflicts, and the clouded area on the south side, we hit a conflict with a gas line. To maintain the gas line location, not impact it, we had to adjust the seawall location, which therefore will, in the next round of construction, make the overlook slightly smaller. Next slide. Zooming in again, just a little bit more context. The highlighted area, the yellow highlighter, shows where the previous wall was intended to be. The red show the conflicts, and so therefore anything that is impacted by the yellow highlight has now become earthen berm and or raised grade, and we're able to keep the sidewalk in order to get to the overlook. Next slide. On the south side, again, this is where the utility conflict was with the National Grid gas line. So we made some adjustments in the field for the piles, which will therefore adjust the seawall location and ends up making the overlook area to the right on the water side, the dark hatch gray areas, the overlook specifically, that'll get slightly smaller in order to make the grades work. Next slide. So overall, we're still within the required resource areas are more or less unchanged. As you can see here, we have received approvals from both Chapter 91 as well as MEPA already. That should have been submitted as part of the application. I believe you have in front of you. And so we're hoping that all in all, we consider these minor adjustments as a result of just construction and below grade utility conflicts, but we're still able to achieve the resilience goals by building the earthen berm and adjusting this proposed seawall location. Next slide. And that'll do it. Hopefully I'm able to answer questions at this time.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. So quick question. I was looking at the email. So just to clarify, you don't have to file an NPC, notice of project change, with MEPA?
We do not. No, they considered them minor enough as a result of construction that they did not see it as a need for significant change.
Okay, good.
Or
Thank
project
you.
change.
Okay. Sometimes government speak on emails can be a little confusing. I'm not quite sure that they
Understood.
were. Yeah, I didn't understand it. Okay, Elena, what do you have on this?
Thank you, Chair Parker. We didn't have anything to add to this.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Vernon, just for the record, can you describe what an earthen berm is to you? The height of it, materials, regular
Sure.
clay, whatever. Yeah.
Yep. So it is going to ultimately be covered with vegetation and plant. However, 3 feet below, we will be, in order to minimize the loads downward on these same exact utilities that were conflicts, we're going to be over excavating, replacing it with lightweight fill, putting 3 feet of standard backfill and topsoil on top of it in order to ensure the lightweight fill does not actually float away during storm events. We'll also be putting in a impermeable liner in order to ensure that water does not migrate below the berm and actually compromise or blow it out from the other side, the land side. So, but we are, because we're eliminating the proposed seawall, we're going to be increasing the height of the berm to elevation 22, which is the 2070 flood elevation.
Right. All right. Thank you. That's all I had.
Yep.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, no, Commissioner Sullivan, that yeah, it sort of teed up one of my questions. In terms, like legalistically or whatever, if this were to be considered some sort of flood protection feature, with the shift from seawall to vegetated berm, does that trigger anything in terms of like down the line with FEMA or understandings with the Army Corps and stuff like that?
Not at this time, anyway. I know that we've been in touch with actually Army Corps. They have their own initiatives going on that happen to be running adjacent to the park. So we've been in constant coordination with them, as well as all of the projects going with Alfred Street in the city and the MBTA as well. So we're well aware of the many initiatives. They're aware of ours, and to our understanding, there's no conflicts now.
Okay. Yeah, no, appreciate that. It's a lot to try to lots of little puzzle pieces that come together. And I guess just to take that opportunity, do we have any better guidance in terms of what they're looking for? I know Four Point Channel had similar sort of like clay core versus light wave fill versus utility seawall piling type conflicts.
You say them, who are you referring to?
Oh, sorry, the city.
Oh, I mean, specifically, I'll let B respond to that if she would like. But we explored all options. We looked, initially it was pile supported seawalls. We believe that ultimately is the most, sustainable, resilient, however you want to call it, versus a berm. But knowing that there's all these other initiatives going on beyond it, Boston Parks has really taken the lead to just get the process started, knowing that there will be some future coordination and probably adaptation in order to make these other initiatives tie into this resilient measure here, this berm or seawall.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. I think for what's in front of us, the on-site things that you guys have had to encounter, this all makes sense. I think, yeah, it's sort of knitting this all together that's going to be tricky.
For sure.
Go forward, and this is, from everything I've seen, is compatible with doing that pretty easily. So
yeah, that was one of the reasons we went with the berm versus another. It allows for a little bit more flexibility on what may happen in the future.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, thank you guys, and yeah, look forward to seeing the project.
Thank you. Commissioner Conan?
Yeah, it looks interesting. So the berm idea only came up because you decided you can't do the seawall anymore, correct?
Yeah. Initially, we talked about, does it make sense not to do anything and stop the seawall and just leave the existing conditions as is, knowing that all these other initiatives are going on. However, Boston, we committed to making a resilient barrier along the entire limits of the park in the original filing, and so Boston Parks wants to uphold that, at least on their end, and it's the right thing to do, and it allows for flexibility in the future to minimally without having to remove seawalls or they have other initiatives. Army Corps is exploring many options in this exact area. This is a very tricky area, so it actually is perhaps for the best in regards to those future connections, in regards to having to undo some of this work just to make it tie into their initiatives.
So it's sort of a response to what you discovered, but you feel this would actually work well with the strategic work that's coming up
Yes,
later.
correct.
Is the earthen berm leaving this location higher than the seawall would have?
No, the seawall was also serving as a screen wall for just back of the house park operations, as well as the Eversource utility head house, which if you've been to the park, you're familiar with. So we were visually screening it. The berm is not going to be that tall, so you won't see it. But the taller the berm, if we were to go to that approach, it just would have made the berm wider and taken up, valuable park space overall. And Eversource still has to be able to maintain that head house and all those utilities in that area. So.
Which they have some underground as well, which is
Yes, it's a major connection from the other side of the Mystic. So.
Does the Parks Department have like a map of where these underground utilities are? I ask because otherwise this could happen again.
An
Yes.
extensive map at this point, yes.
Yes.
Based on all of the excavation that we did in the first phase of this project, it's like the Times Square of, like underground population conditions. It's heavily populated with
We
utilities.
basically found all of Eversource's utilities for them, so they're welcome.
Wow. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Chair Parker.
Commissioner Smargiassi.
It's just a perfect example of how hard it is going to be to be able to armor along the entire coast. All these hidden conditions, some of them dating back 150 years that we'll discover as we're trying to build. So I don't have any questions. Glad you came up with a resolution that still works despite all the stuff that you discovered underground. And I'd concur that they're one of our least favorite unknown utilities. Seems like they have absolutely no records of anything they ever built.
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Commissioner Herbst?
No questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Elena, any hands raised?
No hands raised and nothing in the chat or inbox either.
Okay. So with that, I would entertain a motion to issue an order condition. No, I would entertain a motion to amend the original order of conditions.
And close this hearing.
And close the hearing. Thank you.
Yay.
After 2 hours, I'm toast. So.
And I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, thank you.
And I will second it.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Sullivan?
Aye.
Commissioner Linay? No, I'm sorry. See, she's recused herself. Commissioner Wilson?
Aye. Thanks.
Commissioner Conan?
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi?
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That carries 6-0. Okay, thank you. Waiting for that park to open, B.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a
Okay.
great evening.
Thank you.
Have a good
Okay,
night.
next item on the agenda, request for an amendment to the original order of conditions for DEP file number 006-2051 from Four Point Associates on behalf of the Boston Harbor Shipyard and Marina for the proposed construction of 2 pile-supported travel lift piers, the reinforcement of an existing seawall with a steel sheet pile, and the construction of associated gangway, timber dock, and washdown station at 256 Marginal Street in East Boston. Resource areas, designated port area, coastal bank, fish runs, land subject to coastal storm flowage, land under ocean, and 100-foot buffer to coastal bank. Who's here on behalf of the proponent?
Hi, Chair Parker. Erica Fraser with FPA, and Marshall Greenland with Boston Harbor Shipyard and Marina, and Chris Bush with Massport, the property owner.
Great. Floor is all yours, Erica.
Thank you. If you could progress. Next slide, please. So the original order of conditions was issued in July to construct the new travel lifts, piers, gangway, timber dock, and washdown station and reinforce the existing seawall at 256 Marginal Street, East Boston, as Chair Parker mentioned. This amendment is to update the associated timber dock. Next slide, please. So the original design here on the left-hand side was to construct an approximately 1,770 square foot timber floating dock, install 11 steel pipe piles that were 12 inches in diameter. The overall width, which was 8 feet, was deemed too narrow and infeasible and unsustainable for marine industrial operations. So the proposed design is to construct a 2,370 square foot concrete floating dock that goes from 9.8 feet in width to 13.1 feet in width. This update to a concrete floating dock with the increased widths required larger piles but less piles. So it will be 7 steel pipe piles in total, 3 that are 18-inch in diameter and 4 which are 22 inches in diameter. The increase of impacts is to the land under ocean and DPA resource area. The original order of conditions was for 67 square feet, and these changes would increase that to 72 square feet, which is a 5 square foot increase in impact. I believe that's all that we had here today.
Okay, great. Thank you. I don't have any questions on this. Elena, what do you have?
We didn't have anything either. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Sir, you're unmuted.
That's where they usually like me. Why didn't the original design take into account that you needed something wider? That this seems kind of weird.
I'll let Marshall allude to the need for the increased width.
Yeah, it was a combination of the further assessment from the engineers on the marine conditions out there. So, looking at like the 100-year wave conditions and so it was a combination of that, and then just further assessment of the types of vessels, the weights of the vessels that are going to be tying up to that dock. So we between the conditions, the original plan was timber floats. So between the rough conditions in there and the strains that the up to 90-ton vessels that'll be tying up there, just wasn't feasible with the timber docks.
Yeah. All right. I was just curious how that all works.
Yeah.
That's all I had for questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Linay.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, no, to Commissioner Sullivan's point, I was sort of like whether it was an access versus a like structural integrity type of question for the width, and it's like you needed more bracing and loading capabilities, or whether.
Yeah, just a heavier, more sturdy dock to support the vessels that are going to be on there.
Okay. Yep. No, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Conan?
That's interesting that the sturdiness is increased by the width of the dock. I
In
would
the
have thought
material.
Yeah,
in the material.
Yeah. Yeah, so we went from timber to concrete.
Right. Okay. So you're going to be removing some of the pipes from their current, the piles from the current location and sort of planting them elsewhere, right? Because of the change of the width here.
So the change of the width reduced the need for 12-inch diameter piles. So we need larger piles, but because of that, it's a smaller amount of piles overall.
But they're also going to be in different locations than before.
Correct. But all within land under ocean.
I understand. So it'll be removed from where, some of them at least will be removed from where they are, and new ones will be.
No. So
No?
this is that nothing has been constructed yet.
Right. I understand, but I'm just asking about the plan, what will be done.
So I think the original was the original plan, so it wasn't done yet, but then on the right proposed is what we've changed the plan to. So
All right.
there's nothing there
Oh, right.
now.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Now I understand. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Commissioner,
tried to highlight in red the location, the new locations.
thank you. Commissioner Smargiassi.
No comments on these changes.
Thank you. Commissioner Herbst.
Nothing from me, thanks.
Okay, great. Elena, any hands raised, any emails, any chat testimony?
No to all of the above.
Thank you. So with that, I would entertain a motion to amend the order of conditions and close the hearing.
I'd love to make a motion to close the hearing.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, there have been 2 continuances continued as notice of intent for DEP file number 0061996, Boston file number 2024-021, and notice of intent for DEP file number 0062042 and Boston file number 2025-014. We'll now begin our regular meeting. First item on the agenda is a request for a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0061644 for the culvert and sinkhole repairs located at right outside my home here, Pier 4, Charlestown Navy Yard. Resource areas, land subject to coastal storm flowage, land under ocean, and land containing shellfish. What do we have on that, Elena?
Yes, so staff conducted a site visit. There are some photos in the drive folder, and we would recommend issuing a complete COC with perpetual maintenance conditions numbers 43 and 63, but we did want to flag that there seems to be some like water pooling that is happening in that area. But because the permit is expired, the project team has shared with us that they plan to incorporate the repairs to that portion to address that issue under a future order of conditions because they're going to be filing a new NOI for some additional work in that area.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any questions for Elena?
When's the new NOI coming?
We don't know, but I'm assuming sometime in this calendar year.
I see. Okay, thank you.
And do we have a sense of what those repairs would be?
I think that's another thing that they need to try to figure out is understanding why the pooling is happening and get some more insight into that. So I was assuming, I mean, I had pitched on the site visit that this could be something that could be done under this permit if they don't file for a COC, but this is one of the older ones that we're working to get closed out. So I don't think that they've had enough time to like fully investigate what's going on there. But Chair Parker, if you happen to see pooling in that part, let us know.
Yeah, I have my theories, and I think it might have something to do with the new Harbor Walk, but we'll see.
Oh, the pooling's occurring because it's a low point. Because that's a good engineering trick. Just so you know.
Thank you.
Gravity still works in 2026.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't your time up now, or is like you're still going? Okay.
But yeah, so like I said, I'm not 100% sure on the timeline, but based on and Dee Dee, please jump in if you got a different sense on this, but based on the way that they were talking about when they're anticipating to do future work, I'm hoping that we would get that filing in 2026.
Great. Okay, thank you. So with that, I would entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0061644.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have to amend a friendly amendment to your motion, Commissioner Sullivan. Issue the certificate of compliance retaining the perpetual maintenance conditions in conditions number 43 and 63.
Oh, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about that for a minute.
Okay.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It is like 12:30, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Someone want to second that?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Sullivan?
Aye.
Commissioner Linay?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Commissioner Conan?
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi?
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Carry 7-0. Thank you. Okay, request for next item on the agenda, request for a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0061936 and Boston file number 2023-021 from Weston and Sampson on behalf of the Boston Public Works Department for the proposed rehabilitation of the Glenwood Avenue pedestrian bridge that crosses Neponset River and the MBTA right-of-way located at Glenwood Ave and Hyde Park. Resource areas, riverfront area, waterfront area, 100-foot buffer zone to inland bank. Commissioner Herbst, do you remember this one?
Yes, I do.
Wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah, well, it's not so far from me. Not in my
Yeah.
backyard, but close.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions for Eleanor?
Nope.
Great. And I'll just
Okay.
note that there are additional photos in the drive and the bridge looks amazing. If you have a chance to go out there, I'd highly recommend it. And we would also recommend issuing a certificate of compliance with perpetual maintenance conditions number 60, 67, 78, 86, 87, and 91.
Okay. So with that, I'd entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0061936 and Boston file number 2023-021, retaining perpetual maintenance conditions or conditions of the order of conditions of conditions 60, 67, 78, 86, 87, and 91.
I'd like to make that motion and I pre-approve any friendly amendments.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
I missed this the first time around, and we got to take the kids out there. This looks amazing. Aye.
Great. Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Estes Margiazzi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Let's see. We have another one. Okay, next item. Request for a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0061542 from Ecotech on behalf of the Hollywood Cemetery Association for the proposed partial building demolition and construction of a new storage building located at the St. Joseph Cemetery, 1000 LaGrange Street, West Roxbury. Bordering land subject to flooding is a resource area and riverfront area. Eleanor, what do you have on this?
Yes, so similarly, we conducted a site visit. Everything seems to be done in a compliance with the permit that was issued. As you can see, also a lovely place to take a walk. And we would recommend issuing a certificate of compliance with the following maintenance conditions 42, 44, 48, and 57.
Okay. Any questions for Eleanor? Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0061542, retaining the perpetual maintenance conditions at conditions 42, 42, 42, 44, 48, and 57.
I'd like to make a motion for the Holyhood, not the Hollywood.
Oh, that's right.
Well, they're all dead. They're all holy. Come on.
That's right. Sorry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Estes Margiazzi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That carries 7-0. Okay, Eleanor, administrative updates, quickly, please.
I'm sorry, there are some. Okay, so first up, we have another report from the Environmental Monitor for 181 to 183 Coleridge Street, which again is a project that has an open superseding order of conditions. Those are in the drive folder for the commission to review, and if anybody does have questions about it, once you've had a chance to review them, please let me know, and I can reach out to the project team and get any of those answered. But does anybody have questions at this time?
Nope.
Okay. And then next up, similar item, we received the end of year report from DCR about their Charles River Vegetation Management Plan. It's the end of the year summary. And again, if anybody has questions that come up once you have a chance to review it, I'm happy to reach out to that project team and get answers. But if anybody has questions right now, happy to jot them down.
No questions.
Okay.
Great. Then we have a project that will probably sound familiar, 201 to 259 Independence Drive. This is a site where the commission issued an enforcement order a while back now because they went beyond the boundary of what a DOA that they received, what the limit of work was, and they have cleared a lot of trees. We have been going back and forth with them to try to come up with a planting plan that seems appropriate. And at this point, we think that we've reached that version of the planting plan. The changes, I know not everybody has been looked into the entire sort of saga of this, but the new version of the plan has an updated delineation that was based on flagging that was done this summer, so it's more recent. They have added additional plantings further to the southeast, which was one of the issues that we were having in the first iterations of the plan. A new development is that the Greater Boston Arev Corporation manages posts and manages the Arev in that area, and they need access on a weekly basis to be able to check those. So we had recommended that they have about a 3-foot wide path, not paved or anything, but just, you know, a clear area where people can go and make sure that they have access to those posts. And then a side note, which this is more of an action item that's going to be coming to you during the next hearing, but we did see on the same site that there's vegetation cutting in the wetland itself, not just in the buffer. And once we have this planting plan sorted out, we're then going to start addressing this issue of vegetation cutting in the wetland itself. We're also in conversations with some of our colleagues in parks and urban wilds to try to figure out what the best path forward is, because it seems like there might be some concrete footings that have been put in 2 locations in the wetland, and we're trying to assess whether it makes more sense to take those out or to leave them in, what would be less invasive here. This land is also DCR land, so we're going to be looping them in as well to get a better sense of what they want as the property owner. So some more collaboration needed on this front, but the planting plan is in the drive folder, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that or about this situation.
And thank you, Elena. I was just going to say, Commissioner Herbst has really been leading the charge on reviewing all of this. So thank you very much. We've come a long way and appreciate your work.
Well, a lot of work on staff's part to actually get these people to cooperate. I have to admit, I've looked at the plan. I think it's certainly much improved, addresses the area where there had been an issue that they weren't addressing before. I don't really understand the other parts of this, but maybe I don't have to at this hour tonight, so I'll check in at some point. And it sounds like we will hear more about it. So
more of a preview for things to come. But no, thank you so much, Commissioner Herbst. I appreciate how many times you've met us on site and have talked through this and looked at slides and put together slides. I mean, yeah, this has been it's been interesting. It's been it's been a time.
Hopefully,
certainly took a twist we didn't anticipate here.
Yeah. Hopefully not often we have these. Go ahead.
No, you mentioned, was it a 36-inch wide path you mentioned?
Yes. Yeah.
Don't we normally have nothing smaller than 42-inch in the world nowadays? Every time we do a path, I realize someone with a wheelchair probably won't be cruising down this path, but generally
it's not meant to be publicly accessible. It's really just so the Arev post, because there is an Arev around a majority, sorry, I'm trying to figure out, like I looked at the map, but it's around a large portion of Boston, and the people who work for the Greater Boston Arev Corporation, they're the ones who have to be able to get access to the posts to make sure that if the boundary is somehow broken and they need to repair it, they need access to it. So it's not meant to be a publicly accessible path. They're on occasion have to go through like the woods and go into places where presumably like most people aren't going. So because this isn't meant to be like a publicly accessible path, we didn't ask for it to be wider, but that is a good point. I could go back and just make sure that we're not asking for something that we technically shouldn't be.
Whatever. I just always hear 42-inch everything in the world. So
I'll check on that. No, I want to make sure that
it's another 6 inches, for crying out loud.
Yeah, should be able to do it.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Elena. Anything else?
Yes. So, sorry. We then have the Willette Street enforcement order. This was a project that has gone through a number of years of restoration on the site, and they had reached back out. But similarly, Commissioner Herbst, you've been the sort of point person on this, and had noted that there was some signposts that were starting to sort of fall over and weren't very well secured. We've since gotten confirmation that the signs have been buried deeper, they've been straightened, and they've been backfilled with gravel and tamped, so they should be secure. And so we would be asking the commission to vote on lifting the enforcement order if you are so comfortable with that.
You're asking us now to do this?
Yes, please.
Oh.
But I'm happy to clarify. I'm happy to answer any questions about this beforehand, and if folks aren't comfortable, happy to collect more information.
How is access control to the environmentally sensitive part of the land?
It's so the times that I've been there, they have some signage, and it's like going into the site itself, I think is not really, it doesn't seem like the type of place where you would like wander through the vegetation, especially in the summer. And Commissioner Herbst, please correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it's more so like a benefit to the community to have it, I guess, close enough to the homes, but not have it actually be a place where people are like wandering through.
It's just, I forget what the signs say, but basically, it's a wetlands area, don't disturb. And there are quite a few of them, and they seem to have difficulty getting them installed, but now they have.
Yeah, it just says no dumping, that's all. Otherwise, it says environmentally sensitive land. That's why I was curious.
Yeah. Chair Parker, this is when you have been recusing yourself from, so
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't
Why
know
don't
if
we
you want
just
me to
keep it that way?
call the roll.
So, if you don't mind, I
Yeah.
didn't know we were going to have a vote on this. So, Commissioner Herbst, if you want to take the reins, please do.
Sure. So, Elena, you're asking for a vote to remove the order of conditions? Is that
Or to lift the enforcement order?
lift the enforcement order? Okay, yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
please.
Anybody have questions about that? Okay.
No, the only thing I was going to say is the number of like commissioner hours that have been spent on this small area of the city of Boston, which is valuable and is meaningful, is astounding. And I can never quite remember where it is, but when I see it, I remember it. So thank you for staying on top of this, Commissioner Herbst.
It's a funny hidden off of Washington Street, and actually it goes way back before me to Nick and others. I mean, it's been going on a long time.
No, it's a very important spot. So thank you.
So I would entertain a motion to lift the enforcement order for Willette Street.
Well, I've had a lot of practice tonight, so I'd like to make the motion to lift the. And don't forget, guys, this is January, and I'm done after this. So just want to throw that out there.
I'd be very sad if you hadn't done it. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Commissioner Sullivan.
Aye.
Commissioner Linay.
Yeah. Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Commissioner Conan.
Aye.
Commissioner Estes Mariasi.
Aye.
And I vote aye. So that's 6-0.
Thank you. And Chair Parker, I apologize. We got the photos after you and I had chatted earlier today for hearing prep purposes. I wasn't expecting to get the photos at this point, but I realize now that the
no
ground is
problem.
probably thawed, so it makes
No
sense.
problem. One more thing out of the way. So, I'm seeing, are you done with administrative updates?
I'm so sorry. I have one more, and then I promise I'm done with admin updates.
Oh, okay.
Just really quick, we just wanted to reiterate that the special meeting for the Phase 3 regs will be on March 4th. We are building in more time to be able to, as I said, we've been chatting with colleagues in the city, and we just want to make sure that we have enough time to make sure that we're responding to all of the comments that we've received adequately. So we appreciate your flexibility on that timing. And in the meantime, if you do have any questions about that, we're happy to answer them. And related but not related, we're now moved into our new office. So that's kind of what's been going on the staff side. So we're at 26 Court Street on the 4th floor.
Oh,
Is that
great.
how is that? Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing. It's funny. It's bittersweet. It's a stunning space. We have more room. I think everybody in our department now has their own desk, which is very exciting. And we have running water and like a functioning kitchen. And I don't know. On the other hand, we're not in City Hall anymore, which is kind of sad. City Hall is a great place to be. So, but yes, please feel free to stop by. But give us a heads up because they're also trying to figure out their security processes. So we would love to have you visit.
Is that permanent move?
It is.
So you fled the great city hall, huh?
I know it's a weird change. And I think that our team probably won on most boxes of documents that we had to move over. So shout out to Dee Dee. Dee Dee really took point on organizing all of that and making sure that all of our documents were in the right place and that we know where to find them, and packing all of that up.
Yeah, just the documents for tonight's hearing probably took up a room and a half over there.
They actually took up like a box and a half. I thought we could get them all into one box, and they did not fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
congratulations. Okay. So we'll segue into closing up here. Yeah, acceptance of meeting minutes. I reviewed them as we were meeting this evening. They look fine. So I would entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from December 10th of 2025.
I'd love to make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan,
Aye.
Commissioner Linay,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Conan,
Aye.
Commissioner Smargiassi,
Aye.
Commissioner Herbst,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That carries 7-0. And I have to say, I think this is the longest slide presentations or slides we've had. We're up to 168.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that we've done enough work for 1 year. So let's adjourn until next year. So Ellen, have a great.
I'll make that motion. I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
See you
Okay.
next January.
Thank you for all your hard work. Good night.
Thank you all.
Good night.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everyone.